Hi there, everyone! This is the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. This campaign, we're introducing the granddaddy of all tabletop tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons. Specifically, their second introduction box, the Essentials Kit. The adventure inside is called Dragon of Icespire Peak, and that's what me and the players are playing. I am your game master for the evening, Spencer Reese, and I'm joined by my players, Dalton.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dalton. I'm playing as Ufo, the halfling wizard. He loves to make things go boom.
And set things on fire.
That too. They're both genres of the same end goal.
And then we have Dan. Dan.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dan. I'm playing as Bjorn Mountainside, a previous noble turned semi-pro wrestler with, real admiration for Doc Rivers.
Perfect. And speaking of Doc Rivers, we have Justin, who is playing...
Hey, everybody. I'm Justin. I'm playing Doc Rivers, full-time combat medic, part-time amateur pro wrestler. Pro-am wrestler. Prom wrestler.
All right. And last but not least, we have Ashley. Ashley, will you introduce yourself and the character?
Hi, my name is Ashley, and I have the hiccups this evening, so don't mind me hiccuping over here. I am playing a moon elf bard named Nivara, and she has a twin, excuse my hiccuping, a twin named Novo, who unfortunately is not here with us this evening. He's not dead, everything's fine.
He's not?
He's not.
Oh, thank gosh.
But Nivara is very big into all sorts of silks and trapezes, and really she is a bit obnoxious and loves to be the center of attention.
Yeah. Like Ashley said, we also have a sixth member, Christian, who is unfortunately not here tonight. He got caught up in a few things, but we're going to be covering over rules of what to do when your players aren't here. So, for tonight, we are going to be, the first thing on the agenda, I love to do these, in order to get, it's one of the things I like to do as a DM, is to encourage player interactivity, especially with each other. Now, we have a great group of entertainers that have well fleshed out background. In fact, we spent our first session role-playing a pro wrestling match, and doing all that. And we've had a lot of heavy role-play, which is great. It's great that we kind of have a cast here that kind of are already very comfortable with each other and are cool with doing that. But if you have a table that, maybe they're a bit shy to introduce themselves, or they don't really want to get into, or they're a bit scared to get into their characters and stuff, one of the things that I like to do personally is to look up one of those get to know ya questionnaire things. And I just like to ask one of those at the beginning of each session. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to ask each of the party members a kind of questionnaire that they're going to answer in their character, as their character. I'm going to do an episode recap, and then we're going to go over what to do when you have a person who's missing. Just because Christian is unfortunately had something come up unexpectedly, so we're going to talk about what to do when you have a very strong narrative campaign and somebody isn't there. So first off, your guys' question. There are 250 questions on this questionnaire that I looked up, and I rolled a D100, and I got 71. And so, so the question that I'm going to ask you guys, and we'll kind of toss this around. What is the worst job that your character has ever had in their life? So I'm not sure if anybody wants to go up first, or I can kind of direct it. We can start off with Ufo.
Yeah, the worst job Ufo's ever had was probably he worked. We'll say he worked at like a hotel, and God forbid he had to clean up messes. Like he had to go in and like clean up these taverns, and he didn't even get to like help cause the messes. It was ridiculous, and the fact that he was expected to do that should be criminal.
Because he's the one who's supposed to be making all the messes.
Right, making the messes is the fun part.
Oh man.
Why can't they pay him to do that?
That's the art of it.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that if he ever goes to hell, like one of the seven hells, there is a hotel room that is just permanently messy, and he's just handed a mop and a bucket, and he's just told to go to work. Oh, that's great. All right, let's go to Ashley. Ashley, what is Nivara's worst job that she's ever had?
Whew, so we learned last session, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe the session before, that Nivara and Novo were born in the circus. And when you were born in a traveling circus, you gotta scoop a lot of poop. Because there's a lot of animals and they all poop. Everybody poops. And she had to scoop a lot of poop. She hated it. She wanted to be the center of attention. She wanted to be up there on the trapeze. But she had to work her way up there.
Yeah,
You know what you had to do? She had to scoop a lot of poop so she could get there.
Work her way to the top of that.
And she hated every minute of it. But she did it. She was a hard worker.
I would imagine that Novo also would have absolutely hated that. He's like, well, I have to clean up poop. I have to turn pages with these poopy hands now. Okay.
My papers.
My papers.
They have stool on them.
All right, Justin. What's Dr. Rivers' worst job? Because he's been a doctor for a while, but
yeah. I mean, this is both. The being a combat medic was definitely the worst part of being a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Do we have an effect for that?
Things, man.
I wonder if we could make a Vietnam equivalent in the Sword Coast.
Oh no, let's not.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Persimmon. Dan, what is the Mighty Hammer's worst job? Bjorn's.
Well, so nobility in dwarven kingdoms are usually have a job. Being a noble is in of itself being a job. There's different caste systems and whatnot, and there's a lot of being a merchant, being hold on, what? Oh, sorry. I got distracted by the bleep in Discord. Sorry. There's a lot of different things that come with being a dwarven noble, and there was just too much.
Yeah.
He hated it. He would say being a noble was the worst job he ever had, because there were so many expectations and so many roles that he had to play, and had different personalities he had to take on, and that's why he enjoys being out on the road as a pro wrestler with Doc, because he feels like finally for the first time he's doing things that he wants to do. So that's
I've got a question for Bjorn though.
Okay.
Which one was the worst part of being a noble? Get more specific. I want to know, did you hate going to the balls? Did you hate whining and dining people? What did you especially hate?
Yeah, it's like I imagine the worst part was having to be nice to people and be cordial and civil when in the background there's a whole bunch of mechanics and things and political machinations and murder plots and money moving and all this crazy stuff in the background in the shadows that oh shit, we've got beef with these people, but we have to be nice to them in public. Like that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Bjorn's not for that. If he doesn't like someone, he's just gonna. And that's Bjorn had problems with that. That's why they were kind of okay when Bjorn left. They're like, yeah, man, you go do that, because like he just, he didn't really get it,
I always forget that like Bjorn had this like great noble heritage, but he wanted that freedom. He had a dream and he wanted to kind of pursue it. There was, it was very like tight and constricting where he used to live. So
yeah,
that's super cool. By the way, I always like to imagine that these kind of conversations happen around a campfire. Like when you guys like rest for a night or like stop for an evening, like that's where these conversations are being had. Like, because like I like to think that like Bjorn was like maybe sharing that. You guys got into a conversation about the worst job, and Bjorn was sharing that, and Nivara actually spoke up, was like, "Wait, I want to know more," and stuff like that. So that's how like sometimes when you do improvisational storytelling, it doesn't always kind of like happen all at the same time. So that's why I always like to do I always like to flavor this like, hey, like if we're doing these kind of like get to know you questions, like let's pretend we're next to a campfire, like this happened on the way to Nomengard or something like that. So but if we're all good, then we can move on to the episode recap, the session recap from last week. So cool.
Nice.
So, on the last time on ABCs of RPGs. In session 2, the party reached Nomengard. After spending some time wading through water and picking mushrooms, the party ventured inside. They were trying to creep along and see what it was all about, but there's a few different asides. Novo and Nivara had a conversation about, not going in front of their teammates and making sure they led the way. Whisper shouting, whisper shouting to each other, and then meanwhile, the other party members had a different aside, sniffed some magic, talked about eating mushrooms, and then they all went inside. Bjorn and Ufo both found chairs and tables that were their size, that fitted them, and for the first time in their lives, they felt comfortable once again. They both the party then decided to split up. I think it was Bjorn and Ufo who went and checked out the crab barrels, while the other three, Novo, Nivara, and Dr. Rivers, decided to check out the kitchen. Novo had a great plan of emptying out an ink bottle and like getting a closer listen. And then Dr. Rivers went inside and found out that it's just a bunch of gnomes working and working hard but not smart. Let's put it that way. He helped out a small gnome named Turvaround push a mushroom into a barrel, who told him about two gnomes that they should go talk to, which was Fibblestib and Dabbledob at the workshop. Where the workshop was, the party didn't know. They were pointed loosely in a direction and told to go. So then, after arm wrestling the crab barrel, Bjorn arm wrestled the crab barrel with Ufo inside. He decided to hop in it himself, and the party proceeded on. They were then met with like a crossbow machine wielding maniac that had a crossbow on like each of its four sides and spun and shot him. And after basically one round of combat, he was put to sleep by our esteemed bard Novo. The party quickly tied him up. Started interrogating him, to which he was insane and just wanted to be put back inside and shoot more crossbow bolts at you guys. You guys proceeded down to talk to Ula and Pog, I believe were their names. Yeah, Ula and Pog, the two guards, who told you about a shape changer afoot in Nomengard, and tried to question you to see if you could really prove that you weren't shape changers. And then ultimately, while the drunken ramblings of Bjorn and the other party members, Ufo and wait, I'm not sure if Ufo tried to convince them about anything, but Dr. Rivers and Bjorn tried to do so.
Ufo tried to do the reverse psychology turnaround.
The know you.
Yeah, he tried to know you them, and it didn't work.
And so Nivara stepped in with her with Novo and proceeded to convince them otherwise. And they said, "Of course you can't be shape changers." And to which Dr. Rivers realized they think we're too dumb to be shape changers.
Nice.
So
Wait.
then, yeah, that's where we left off the party. There seems to be a bridge that they can cross and go into the other side of Gnomengard. I don't think I missed anything. Did I miss any other details?
I don't think so. I think you did a good job catching everybody up.
All right, awesome. Let's get into it. So, before we return back to the scene, let's talk about when you're missing a player in your campaign, because we're playing kind of like some campaigns are very heavy narratively, and a lot of things can track from over a entire campaign, whether it's a homebrew or whether it's something like this that's pre-made. The good news is, with more of these pre-made campaigns, unless the DM, like me, is inserting certain story points or NPCs that they've kind of created with their party members, for the most part, when you're playing a campaign like this, it isn't going to be necessarily interrupted. A lot of our party has role-played back at the tavern and stuff like that, and will be performing shows. But I wanted to go over, or I'm going to have Justin actually go over a few different things about what you can do to kind of explain why your party member isn't there. What I discussed with Christian beforehand, after he said he couldn't make it tonight, we decided to kind of say like, oh, well, Novo was so inspired by the crab barrel machine, and last campaign he broke off last session he broke off one of the crossbows to try to fit it onto the crab machine, that maybe he wanted to run back to Phandalin and try to study and like find out like how to like attach it on there, because one of the features of being a sage is if you don't know something, you know where to find it. So that's what he like kind of ran off to go do, because he got really excited about this crab barrel. But other than like kind of fitting in different like role-playing elements to like kind of explain why certain party members aren't there for that current session, there's a ton of different like downtime activities you can do. And at that point, I'm going to pass it on to you, Justin. Would you like to take it from here and kind of explain more about that section in the rulebook?
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. So the section of the book that we're looking at is the book that we're looking at is the Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook, which is available on the dndbeyond.com site or at your local retailer. But if you look at Chapter 8 in Adventuring and go to the section called Between Adventures, there's a subsection in there called Downtime Activities. And Downtime Activities is a really cool section, especially for new players, because it can let you all use, it gives you some concrete rules for things that your characters can be doing between adventures, or if there is any kind of downtime. And they're, maybe you're having a role play heavy session. Or in the case of us, one of your characters is out, but still checks in and wants to kind of be a part of the game. So things that you can do include crafting, practicing a profession, recuperating, researching, or training. And I like to make sure that we try and remember Rule 0. This isn't a be-all, end-all list. This is just a really good starting point for you as players and as a DM to use as a template. One of the things that we're dealing with, since we decided that are we calling, Spencer, are we calling what Christian is doing researching or crafting? I think he's going to have to research first.
Research to craft.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And folks watching, you can always have one then the other happen. As the DM, that's your call. You don't want to just let your players have things that your other players don't have access to just because they want it. You want to try and keep this stuff balanced so that if they do this, they got to put in some sort of kind of effort. So I believe our DM is going to be doing the rolling for Christian, but the rules say that when you begin your research, the DM determines whether the information is available, how many days of downtime it will take to find out, and whether there are any restrictions to your research, such as needing a specific book or something like that. The DM may also require one or more ability checks, such as intelligence investigation to find clues pointing toward the information you seek, or charisma persuasion to secure someone's aid. Once whatever conditions the DM sets forth are met, the player can determine if they roll or they know the information, or you learn if the information is available.
Oh, perfect.
For each day of research, you must spend 1 gold to cover your expenses. This is the additional cost to your normal lifestyle expenses. So basically, what this boils down to as a DM, if you're kind of not keeping up with what you really should be doing here in this situation, is attach a gold cost to what you think it would cost. You know what I mean? Like how much value you place on whatever information they're trying to find.
Yeah.
So you might have a player at your table who's not comfortable role playing, but you can tell them that like you could spend your whole this session, seeing other people play, but we're going to say that you're researching your thing or you're crafting. So later down the line, it's very similar. I won't read the whole rules. I'll let you all take a look at that. But again, you kind of associate a gold cost with whatever needs to be crafted and then determine how long it would take to craft it. So, if they want to build like a giant golem robot thing,
it's not going to be done in one day.
Yeah, it's not going to be done in one day, and it's not going to cost like 2 gold, right?
Right.
Thank you. Yeah. So, but that's how this stuff can work if you so choose at your table, and that's Justin taking a look in the book.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. I really appreciate you you explaining that and taking a look and everything. Justin really hits a few great key points. Is that like there's definitely a lot that's already set into the campaign, but the rule of cool, like always feel free to like especially work with your DM or DMs out there, work with your players and try to make it more fun and interesting for them. So speaking of making Christian rolls, so I spoke with Christian beforehand. One of the 2 things I forgot to do last session is that I was going to give him inspiration for that sleep spell, because that was a really creative and smart way to solve that fight, because there was just one gnome at the top of this crossbow thing that had gnome health, which was 7 HP, and using a sleep spell to put that gnome asleep was a really smart way to solve that situation without doing a lot of fighting. You guys solved it like that. So I was going to give him inspiration for that. Which, if you guys remember, inspiration can be handed to any other person as well as yourself, and it just allows you to re-roll any roll, which is great. On top of that, one of the things, and I'm going to say that everybody is going to know this because you guys probably saw this, and like right before Novo like left, he like this happened to him because he cast that sleep spell, because that's like a 1st level spell if I remember correctly. And something happened. So Dalton, could you actually shift to our map view, because I'm about to roll a d20 on there and then describe what happened to Novo after he casted that sleep spell.
Yeah.
So just let me know when you're ready.
We should be
Perfect. All right, so I'm rolling. It is on a d20 table that we're rolling this. All right, I'm rolling a 16 for Christian. This is perfect. So, the caster sprouts wings like those of a butterfly. The wings give the caster a flying speed of 30 feet. So
Is that
Christian,
permanent?
I'm not gonna say. But after after Christian casted that sleep spell, he sprouted butterfly wings, and so when he took off to go figure out how to attach this crossbow, he flew off like with butterfly wings. So
that's
just
pretty cool.
uncontrollably. That's hilarious.
So you guys probably can guess from that instance that if you cast some magic, some fun things might happen. So, but yeah. So here we are, back on the map, and the last thing I'm going to do before I turn it over to my fellow players is Dan requested a very special token last week. So
Yes.
we use this
Yes.
crab
Yes.
as
Yes.
as
Is it happening?
a stand-in for his
Happening?
crab, barrel crab. And I did some photoshopping.
Oh, is it happening? Oh, it's happening! Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Oh.
You should have control of that token, Dan. This is your new barrel crab token.
Oh my god, wait, hold on, I'm logging into Roll20. I wasn't logged in yet. Oh my god, hurry up, computer.
Oh, man.
I've never wanted anything more in my life. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. And once you guys get into Roll20, by the way, if you guys could set your colors, you can click the little, like, a color box next to your name, and you can set it to whatever color you want. Dan, if you could set yours to green, Justin to blue, and Ashley, if you could set yours to purple, just so, like, when you do these, like, little tracking things, yeah, it'll look good. But yes, as soon as you can see Dan. Okay, he's still loading it up.
While Dan's loading in, do you want to have Novo kind of drift off the map?
Yeah. Oh, look, he goes out here to the bridge and he's flying away. Bye, Novo.
Stab.
The crab stabbing him. Oh my gosh. And he's gone.
Greatest thing ever.
Oh no, grab the crab.
It's like a purple in my screen, I think.
Oh, the one that I did? I want it to be purple. It's like a periwinkle.
Am I not
lavender?
I'm blue, right? Yeah, I'm blue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
Justin's
You're
blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Abadi babadai.
So you guys got permission from Ula and Pog to continue on. They don't suspect that you guys are the shape changer. So, you guys can kind of push forward and cross the bridge if you like.
I would
All
like.
right.
I want to see what's over here.
Dan's going crazy with his crab right now.
Yeah. All right. Crab. Me, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking down this way. You know, I want to know.
If you move the crab, I'll know you're in it if you want.
Well.
Either or.
Oh. I just
just
want to like come up behind them and just be like, oh. So
Pog and Ula turn around.
that's where that goes.
Yeah, Ula speaks to you. And Pog goes, "Hi, friend."
Okay. Well, you guys have big time NPC energy, so I'm gonna go back around here and work out. Sorry.
Dan, calm me out.
Hashtag things you can't say in a D&D campaign. And we're gonna start walking across the bridge.
All right, you do so. So I don't believe there's any checks that are associated with the bridge. I believe you can just cross it. But the biggest thing is, like I said before, it's just really loud here because the water and everything. So as soon as you kind of like come outside, if you guys try to talk to each other, you will have to yell at each other to do so. So yeah.
I'm gonna go over.
News is that oh, sorry.
Can I go over
Go
to
ahead.
Doc and I'm gonna gesture at the what was the name of the gnome that he was carrying? Factor. It's like, Doc, do you think we should leave Factor just with these guys, or do you think we should take him with us? Because I have a feeling he's gonna get pretty annoying, and I imagine as I point at him, he's trying to like bite at my finger.
I slap his nose. No.
Oh,
Bad Factor.
oh,
Bad Factor.
I'm
Bite.
Bad Factor.
I'm sorry.
Do not do that.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh, I just want
Do
out.
they,
You know.
All right, let's drop the gnome. Let's go across.
All right, I'm good with drop. I'm gonna leave him here with you.
Do it.
With Ula and Pog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't
Wait.
shoot anybody.
Wait. Here, give him to me, and I put him on top of the. I put him on top of the crab, and I walk like around with the crab back all the way around.
Right, of course.
Back to there, and I'm like, and I just like dump him off.
all right.
Like,
Yeah.
This is now a jail until we get back. Okay, bye. And just like
Factor just goes, a jail with no bars will hold no one, and he struggles. He can't move out of his tied up body.
Yeah.
I look at, I pull a green and purple mushroom out of my bag, and I hand them to whatever their names are. And I'm like,
yeah.
I will give these to you right now, and I will give one more of each. If you just watch him and make sure he doesn't leave this spot for like the next, I don't know, like 10 minutes. 20 minutes.
Ula goes, blah, 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 and nods her head, and then Pa goes, we have plenty of these in storage, but sure, we can watch them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I figured we don't gotta go and pick them yourself. I'm saving you some trouble here.
I'll make sure he goes nowhere. He could be the shape changer. Yeah. I forgot I'm drunk. Yeah, he could be the shape changer. and then maybe Pog like kicks him a bit.
Yeah. Good news is I finished eating all my dinners, and now I can have my mic back. What are you talking about, Bjorn?
What?
Bjorn was using the crab to like feed himself like a turkey leg, like the crab was holding a turkey leg.
Yeah.
The crab was bringing it up to Bjorn's mouth.
This thing's got like a rotisserie chicken like roaster in here. It's crazy, man.
What if you went back, grabbed like a wine barrel, and tried to drink the wine, but it's just pouring it's just dripping off the crab barrel's face, like you're trying to pour it in the crab. Yeah.
All right. So since we've dealt with Factor, can UFO go inspect this bridge just like a cursory?
Yeah.
Like, does it? It looks like it could probably hold me, a halfling.
Is it safe?
Does it look like it could hold anything bigger?
Passive perception is a 10 for you. It looks fine. It looks like a normal bridge. You can make a regular perception check too.
Perception or investigation?
Investigation? Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, because I feel like if I'm like actively like looking over the bridge, like checking the ropes and stuff, that's more investigaty than percepty.
Yeah.
Can I assist him in the investigation?
Absolutely.
It's +1, Dalton, so I'm sure yours is probably better.
Yeah, I get a +3 to investigation. So Bjorn and I are gonna check out, and I got a 12 as my highest. As I'm checking out the bridge just to see if it could hold a person larger than a halfling, like I don't want to say normal sized because I'm normal sized.
A larger person than you.
Yeah.
Yes. It is rickety, and you kind of have to like if you look at the design, it's kind of like zigzaggy. So it's like they don't even have planks down. They have to they tied rope across. You have to step on like the rope to get across. It can definitely hold you. It's a rickety bridge though, so it's like difficult terrain, so to say.
Right.
And it's gonna take it a little bit to cross.
I'll call back.
But it seems like it can hold a normal person just fine.
All right, cool. I'll just call back. It's like I'll go first, but we should probably go one at a time. And the crab should probably go last, like super just in case.
Okay, I was gonna say, does the crab? Can the crab come?
You couldn't tell from just looking at it. I mean, it's a sturdy rope bridge. From your roll, it looks like it can hold people. It might hold a crab thing. I don't know. You don't know.
Hey, what's the worst? I tumble over into a waterfall and inside of a barrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
People do that in waterfalls all the time. They go over in barrels. That's totally normal.
Exactly.
I've seen the documentaries.
And we lose a crab barrel that's already taken a couple of damage. So you know what?
Right.
No big deal.
So everybody's going first, and then the crab, right?
Yeah. Ufo will go first. I'll go first, taking my time across.
Yeah. Ufo, you make it over just fine. And then everybody else who proceeds across, you're able to get over there just fine. Yes.
Wait. Does this bridge have handles? Like railings on either side?
Yeah. Like comes up to like gnome waist high. So.
And are they like just rope?
Yep.
Nivara's gonna be obnoxious, and she's gonna try to tightrope across the bridge on the railing.
Give me an acrobatics check, or performance. I guess we could consider this. No, that's charisma, isn't it?
No,
want it
I
to be
think
dex.
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like an acrobatics check.
Good thing I'm proficient in it.
I think you're like super proficient in it, aren't you?
I've got an 11.
Ooh.
I guess not.
Well,
Damn, I got +4, but you know.
you make it over okay. You know, the DC I made for this was a 10.
That's
So
kind of you.
yeah. Well, it's not like it's not being rocked by the water. There was no like you have to make a check normally to cross or anything like that. So I figured you being a dexterous person, like as long as you concentrated on it, you're fine. Maybe there's a few points where like towards like the middle of the bridge, like it was watery, so you kind of like slipped a little, but caught yourself and then just kept going. Or you like whipped out something to kind of balance yourself out, and then you just kept going across. But yeah, you make it over. Few close calls, but you made it. So
Nice.
yeah.
So what about the crab?
Does Doc goes over too?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and move you across if that's okay. So Dan, I'm gonna take control of the crab. So you start to move forward on it, and you get to like right here, and like the crab steps on a rope, and it kind of gets stuck, and then it moves its other leg, and it gets stuck, and then it just starts getting all like tangled in it, and it gets tangled and stuck. So now there's this giant mechanical crab duck on the other side of this rope bridge.
All right, I hop out and I'm like, guys, I'm gonna need to fix this. You go on ahead. I'm gonna fix this real quick.
You can fix that real quick?
I'm gonna fix this.
Real
Quite-
quick.
Alright. Can I pull the like crab out, make a strength check? Like an
Well,
athletic
Dan,
check,
this is gonna take some time. So if you're gonna stay behind to work on the crab, we're gonna move on with the other people for a little bit while you're doing that, and I'll come back to you and have you make checks to see if you can untangle it and stuff. Does that sound okay?
leave the crab behind. Let's go.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
Kinda like
cool.
pull it out
for
and you're like,
crab.
eh.
Tis not ready for combat anyway.
All right, perfect.
Do you want to leave a note or something? Just like a sorry about the crab or sorry about the bridge, just so like
You
Feels-
always leave
It
that's a
feels
good idea.
rude.
I go back and I leave a note on it. I pull out, some parchment and some ink from my bag, and I write a note, and it says, which I'm assuming I write it in Common. I'm hoping that one of them can at least read Common, and
They
it
speak
says, "Don't touch my crab."
Don't touch my crab.
I-
Your crab.
I lean
My
over
crab now.
I lean over to
I
Doc.
targeted it. It's my crab now.
I want to lean over to Doc and just be like, do we have like insurance information we're supposed to leave, or is like, do we have adventurers insurance?
I'll fix it.
Insurance.
I'll fix. You just hear me yell over. I'll fix it. Fine.
We'll leave a note. Just leave a note.
Okay.
Remember,
Yeah,
we
leave a
practiced
note.
writing. We practiced writing the other day. Just leave a note.
It literally all.
Remember,
says
the
is-
little line goes on the bottom of the R, but not the P.
It literally says, "Do not touch my crab," and I hold it up to Doc Rivers, and I'm like this.
Yes? Doc Rivers can't see that far.
Okay.
He's just assuming, being supportive.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
cute.
it's like a D-U-N.
Yeah,
Oh.
you dang tooch.
Yeah, he's like T-U-C-H-M-I-K-R-A-B.
Yeah, that was good, buddy. I see.
Do not touch me, crab.
Oh,
I don't
beautiful.
All right, and then I just heard, okay, let's.
Okay.
And I just press onward because I'm like upset about the crab,
Of course.
and I just like kind of storm ahead.
All
As one
right.
does.
Before we move on, Spencer, do you want to turn off the turn order just so it's not there for no reason?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay. Do I just exit that out? Is that how you turn that off?
Probably. It's gone now. Whatever you did worked.
Perfect. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so you guys move forward, and in front of you, although it's lightly obscured by mist from the waterfall, you reach a room that contains two rapidly spinning devices that look like turnstiles fitted with stacks of long, sharp blades spaced 1 foot apart. The northern one is turning counterclockwise, while the southern one is turning clockwise. So it's these giant metal spinning blades, just kind of like spinning about in this room.
How fast?
Fast enough that you might have to make some checks if you just try to run across.
Oh, UFO needs to get something straight.
Yeah.
People live here, right?
Yeah.
Yep, just going by. Need to flip the switch, turn it off. Okay. Oh, gotta go back the other way. Oh,
I mean, speaking of which, let's say that. Sorry. I gotta look to see who has the highest passive perception. Doc Rivers. As you're kind of peering through these blades, you see between them on the other side of sent to the south wall of the smaller western portion of the room is a brass lever in the down position.
In a down position. Oh. Huh. Man. Hey. Don't try and run through there. I mean, I don't. Navarro might be able to do it, but that's maybe not worth it. If you see between the blades, there's a lever. It's down now. I mean, I need some sort of like magic to pull it toward me, or to push it up, I guess. But I can't do that.
No, I could make it look like it's in the up position, but I don't think that would actually do anything.
Well, wait, hold on.
I'd like to try tumbling across the blades.
You're gonna try to tumble across?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Can I like throw her across? It's not that far, right? It's like what, 5, 10, 15, 20 feet?
Oh, yeah, we love a good fastball special.
It seems to be less of a distance thing and more so that there's two giant, like, turning, spinning blades in this room. Just like you guys.
It's like that scene. It's like that scene in Indiana Jones.
Could I crawl under them?
No, they take up the entire room.
What is in the center? Like,
could I jump over them?
No, it's a 7-foot room, and the blades are like that big. Like no matter what, like you're not small enough to fit under them or to jump them. They're just like.
But the cylinder that's like holding the blades, right? That they're rotating on. How wide is that cylinder? Are you able to land on that? Could Nivara, a very well balanced trapeze artist?
Yeah, I'm imagining this. Yeah, I'm imagining this kind of like you're going through a car wash, and it's like the two big columns of like flappies.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking more like okay. All right, gotcha.
No, that'll probably destroy it. Never mind. I was thinking about
firebolt at the lever, but
I don't. I mean, that might break the lever.
That's gonna be super effective, but I could do it.
Naivar, you were gonna try and go just leap across, weren't you?
I could maybe like try to shoot a crossbow bolt over attached with like a rope, and maybe do something with that. I don't know. Bjorn's trying to put together an idea in his head, but it's just like not cooking together.
Bjorn, can you maybe shoot the thing so that on the top side so that it pushes it down?
It's in the down position.
Oh, we
need to push it up.
Oh, that's the problem, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Nivara is willing to try being dexterous and dodging her way through.
Should I do like
What if we took 2 ropes, we tied one to a crossbow bolt, shot it on one side, shot crossbow bolt on the other side, and then held onto the other 2 ropes, crossed the ropes, and then we literally just pulled up. Oh, it probably would get slashed by the blades, wouldn't it?
Just let
Yeah.
you guys know.
All right.
These are like large blades, so any kind of rope that goes through probably will be cut. And in Naivara, if you go across, there will be a check. But also, there might be damage because these are giant metal blades. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. I'm not wild about you going across that with
Okay.
no other force.
But how are we gonna get across?
I think you might have to. Otherwise, we might not be able to.
Well, somebody mentioned. Well,
Wait,
I'm not sure if I should give you guys hints.
wait. Is this? Oh, shoot! Did somebody mention something?
UFO doesn't take notes.
Ufu did say that.
A firebolt at it. That's what I said.
Is this
I'm
something
gonna go
that
back and ask these guys?
was this something that was said today or last week? Just out of character.
No, today.
It was said today.
As you guys entered this room.
Oof.
But anyways, Dan, you said Bjorn goes back to Ula and Pa, kind of like clambers over the barrel crab.
Yeah. And I say, first, got a couple things, guys. 3 things real quick. One, I just want to like look over and see if like that guy's still, if Factor's still there.
You can't see from this position, but you hear like crossbow.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, he's still there. All right. So Factor is still there. Cool. All right. Number 2, Crab kind of got tangled up in some bridge stuff. Gonna take care of it later. But if you see it, we're just busy doing some stuff. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it later. But it's all good. All right. Third, fan blades. And Dalton, I'm gonna need a beep here. Why the fuck? Are there fan blades chopping up like stuff there, just rotating around? It's weird. That's really weird. How do we turn it off? We need to get through.
So Ula goes blah 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 blah, and then Pog
okay, all right. And then I look over at
Pog goes 1. Yes, Factor has been sitting here mumbling to himself insanely. 2. We're gods. We don't mess with those crab things anyways. Those are for the others, the inventors and whatnot. And 3, well, I mean, all of us know how to use Mage Hand, so we could pull the lever for you. But not me and Ula, of course. Me and Ula have to stay here and guard against this shape changer.
Oh. So does Factor know how to use Mage Hand?
Yeah.
Factor.
All right.
And
I grab Factor and I say, "You're coming with me. Come on. Let's go."
I like to think that
I knew you would find some use. I like literally want to like pick him up and like up to my face and be like, "I knew we'd find some use for you," and like just keep like.
So when did Bjorn sober up?
He's a dwarf.
He's a dwarf. They get drunk and then they're
crash.
fine again, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
When he drunkenly crashed the crab into the bridge, he just anger has a really sobering effect,
Yeah.
Also, he was like just really like stunned and startled by like the crab it's just like, this is his baby. He just got a brand new ride. He's rolling in the new whip, and like he just crashed it. Like he just drunkenly crashed it. Like he's pissed.
That's awesome.
So while Bjorn's doing that,
Yeah.
what do I know about like elvish burial rites, just in case like Naivara gets hurt trying to jump through this stuff?
Probably be okay. I mean, unless she gets cut like right in half, I'm pretty sure I can heal her.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, even if I do get cut in half, that's like part of the trick, remember?
Yeah, so Naivara, are you
Remember?
No, that's not one of my tricks. My trick is the spinning wheel of death. That's just a flip. I don't know what you and your brother kind of do to each other or whatever, but
Ew.
I like walk back, like, and I walk back.
Yeah,
into
too
that,
far,
and I'm
too far, too far, too far,
Oh man,
too far.
what did I just walk into?
So I'm guessing, yeah. So Nivara didn't jump across before Bjorn got back, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So Bjorn, you have Factor, and he's just like mumbling under his breath. Crossbow.
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll get you a new crossbow, buddy. If you use Mage Hand on that lever.
A new crossbow?
Yeah, we'll find one for you.
Yeah, I can do that. I need a hand free though.
Okay. All right, and then I was like, you know what? I'll do you one better. Doc Rivers, you cool with cutting this guy loose?
Yeah, if he messes around, we kick him into the fans.
Well, I was also gonna say we can kind of kick him into a waterfall. That's probably a good lesson too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
not.
I mean, I mean, that's a stronger message, but I don't think he learns anything. But
That's
you
true.
know.
He should learn. We'll throw him into the water.
Yeah. And then we
There's-
don't.
Fall.
All right, and I like cut
Factor free.
Backdoor free, yeah, and I'm like, all right, go use Mage Hand on the lever, buddy.
And he grins at you like creepily, but then he like waddles over. He waddles over to the edge, and he goes. And you see like a little spectral hand. Oh wait, it's visible, right? Yeah, Mage Hand is visible. It kind of like comes out. It like kind of goes to the blades. It grabs the lever on the other side, and it from the down position, and pulls it up. And you just hear the blades go, and they slow down. Then they come to a stop. And Factor immediately turns around and goes, "Okay, give me crossbow."
I said we would get you one. We don't have it right now. We will get it for you.
He just instantly, like, his face turns and he goes, "What do you mean you don't have it right now?"
I can while he's doing that, can I like
sprints to the other
yeah,
side?
yeah. I like nudge. I'm like trying to nudge someone, like go get.
Actually, wait. Factor, I do remember we do have a crossbow. It's back in this crab with me. You guys go on ahead. I'm gonna take Factor back to the crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. You guys just go on ahead.
Yeah. Doc's gonna sprint across while the blades have stopped.
All right, and when we get to like the kind of midway point,
Yeah.
I'm just like, we'll get it for you later, bud. And I just push him off the edge.
Give me a strength check. Give me a strength check, and I'm gonna roll for Factor. He's a gnome, so he doesn't have a whole lot of strength. But let's see.
Let's see. Oh man, if he pushes you off, I'm gonna laugh. It's
Do
bad, but I'm gonna
I
laugh.
use proficiency for this or no?
No, just your strength.
I always
If he's proficient in athletics, he should get proficiency.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, we could do athletics. I'll allow that. Now, let me tell you though, these rock gnomes, they have a strength score of 6, so that means that's a -2. So I don't know. This might be tough for you.
So I just rolled, but I didn't do athletics. I did just strength. So should I just add +2 to this, or should I re-roll?
No, we'll just add +2 to this, and that brings up to an 8, right?
So it's an 8. Yeah, 8.
Well, he naturally rolled a 7. -2 brings it down to a 5. So
it's just like the toilet bowl, just like big slappy fight, you know?
Yeah.
Bjorn's really glad nobody's around to see this.
He falls 20 feet down.
Waterfall, no one can hear it.
Yeah, he falls 20 feet down into the water, just. And yeah, so he falls down into the
You
water.
can swim, right? Yeah,
You see bubbles.
That's fine. I just like walk this way.
Did you just kill Factor?
We don't know. We don't know that.
Might have committed a little casual murder.
roaring waterfall. You didn't hear that. Did she hear that? Do they know?
No.
Okay.
No, we
Everybody
have
else
no
went
idea.
ahead.
I have
Yeah.
none of us have any idea you just murdered Factor.
Yeah, Bjorn comes back and is like, how do you like the... Did he realize that you just gave him his old crossbow back?
Oh no, yeah, he's good. Factor's good. It's
Okay.
good. Yeah, we're good. He won't be a problem anymore. So
Nice.
All right.
Let's see what's going down this way.
All right, you guys continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the area you kind of like go to. So let's.
Fully unaware that our party member
Is a murderer.
Murder's a strong term. Just push someone to near death.
Yeah, manslaughter.
He's okay.
at best.
So he's okay.
Oh, I
it's
didn't
a
say that.
It's a 20. Why is he dead? I want to know. I didn't stick around to find out. We keep going.
Oh man,
You
he
didn't see him
fell-
surface.
He fell he fell like 5 times his height.
No,
All
it's,
right, so,
yeah.
you guys got
Schrodinger's
two
gnome. As long as we
anyways.
don't go check the bottom of the waterfall, he might be still alive.
So you guys start to approach this kind of area which you see like tools and weird inventions all over the place. You see like things hanging up. You see like Tesla, like those what are those little balls that you touch and has electricity that touches your fingertips?
Science ball.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that going on.
Or whatever.
And you hear two people talk.
And you know.
One person says, "Oh, a good way. Well, he's insane, right? Well, let's just make a ray that turns him sane again, like a sanity ray. Yeah, of course that'll do it. That'll bring him back to normal." And then you hear another voice go, "No, you idiot! Obviously, we need to make something that I've designed. It's a foolproof plan. I have the blueprint right here. I'm calling it a straitjacket." And then you guys enter on the scene of what appears to be a male and a female gnome, kind of like arguing with each other about somebody who's insane.
Oh
Huh.
no.
That's probably nobody we know.
Yeah, so Ufo sees all the workshop, sees him talking about inventions. Like, hi, like I waves. Like, did you guys build the crab stuff? Those crab things?
Oh! They turn to you and they both wave. They go, "Hi there! Hello!" This guy steps forward and goes, Well, yes, we did. Not just me. I'm Fibblestim. This is Dabbledup. We both, work here. Are you adventurers?
Oh well, yes, but for big fans of your work. This guy over here, and I point to Bjorn. He loves it. He was having a blast.
Oh yeah, great design. I did get it kind of tangled up in the ropes, but we'll workshop that. That's fine.
Just learning the ropes with the crab.
And we were. Have you heard about this dragon problem that's flying around?
There's a dragon out there? Oh,
Yeah.
Great. What are we... First, our king goes insane, and now there's a dragon? And then Dabbledup goes, as if we need more problems on our hands.
Well, we're hoping that...
I'm sorry, your king?
Yeah. Well, we have two kings, but one of them isn't really doing well.
What is that king's name?
Fibblestip kind of perks up. Well, it's Corboss that's gone mad right now. He's gone and tied up Nurgle up in their bedroom, like in their living chambers. Like, we can't get him to come out at all.
We all sighed like the biggest sigh of relief like possible.
Mm-hmm.
How do you?
Yeah, everybody is
you
just
guys
looking
don't
really
know that
relieved
backwards.
and looking at each other right now.
You don't know this.
All right, yeah. Bjorn gives a big sigh of relief. He's like, okay, well, we'll get to the king thing, but we're hoping we might be able to take the dragon problem off of your hands with a little bit of help. Do you guys have you seem like such prolific inventors, and I'm trying to like butter them up.
Yeah.
It's like, do you have anything that like we might be able to use to help fight off this dragon?
Dabbledob kind of steps forward and she goes, "Yeah, well, of course, we have tons of different magical items and such here, but I'm sorry, I can't make any promises until we solve our king's insanity first. You have to understand that as a stable monarchy, we have to make sure that our highest members of authority are right in their way before we start helping out foreign advisories and such. She's trying to sound sophisticated.
Right.
Well, isn't there like a shapeshifter or something too? I mean, like, couldn't it stand to reason that like the king is the shapeshifter or something if he's acting crazy? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what I would think first.
If your king tied up your other monarch, and there's a shape-shifting problem, that sounds, yeah.
Those things sound like they could be related.
Not definitely, but possibly.
Quite possibly.
Philistip kind of comes up and goes, well, yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, sure, there's a shape changer aloof, and that's what he's been complaining about, but, he keeps... Well, it doesn't help that, like, the different gnomes are just disappearing, too. Like, they're just, like, gone and missing every once in a while, but, like, I don't know. Look, we're just trying to...
going?
Wow, I don't know. We're just trying to figure out how to cure his insanity first, and then we can start dealing with the shape changer and our missing brethrens.
Bjorn just pops up and goes, missing brethren. They're going missing? How do you have any idea where they're going missing at?
And Naivara was saying something as well.
Sorry.
No, you're
Shouldn't
good.
you reorganize your priorities?
Both of them go, don't, you guys, stop. Just like, look, we're just trying to figure out his insanity, and then we can deal with it. We'll get you your items. Let's just take care of like this insanity thing first, okay?
So what happened right before the king went insane?
Dabbledob goes, well, I don't know. They're both in their throne room.
Okay.
They're in their throne room, and then we heard a scream. And then we went to check it out, but they were gone. That like Korbos already went back and took Nurgle in his room, and then they just haven't come out yet. We've been slipping food under the door, but that's about it.
Did you try opening the door?
No, we haven't really talked to them at all. We just thought he was insane and kind of left it.
Oh.
Maybe we should try opening the door.
Fibblestiff kind of goes, look, we're not really good at talking to other people, especially our king. So we just thought, let's just invent something to fix him.
Well, what if we go talk to your king?
Well, I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, great, awesome. We can do that. Do you have anything to help us get it? No, there seem to be traps in the places that you live, which seems weird to us. Yeah, like the rooms full of spinning blades.
Death blades.
Oh, you mean our defense system? Nah, we don't. I mean, like everybody has mage hand, so we just, you just turn that thingy up and down, and then you're good to go. It's not a trap. It's fine. It keeps out the rats.
Huh. Well, that I'm interested in exploring more, the whole rat issue. But different time and place. What if you can't cast mage hand?
They look at you like,
look, Wak, I'm gonna not cast mage hand right now. I can't do it. See?
Dabbledob goes, turns to Fibblestib, and Fibblestib turns to Dabbledob, and they start going like, oh my gosh, you can't actually cast it. What's wrong with these creatures? Are they just absent of magic? Oh, we have to do more knowledge into this. Could it be like maybe they were cursed when they were at a young age?
No, I just think they just have different magic. I can hear you.
Huh? Oh, I didn't call you stupid.
Until just now.
No.
That's fine.
So are there?
Well, anyways, if you want to talk to our kings, you can just go that way and go up.
Are there traps that way though?
Defense.
No. Our only defense system was those blades up back that way.
No. See that's not true because we got shot by a crossbow machine earlier.
What is he talking about? Oh, Factor! Yeah! Oh man, he actually tested it out. He's been working on that thing for months.
Okay, so we've got spinning blades, Factor's crossbow thing.
Also spinning.
Are those the only two defense systems you've got?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, I wouldn't consider Factor a defense system. Yeah, he's more like just like a crazy gnome guy who likes to try out new inventions. Not like us, though. We actually test them out on test dummies. Or rats.
How big are these rats? Are they normal size rats?
No, they're like big, and they point out like what would be a normal sized rat to like anybody else.
Okay.
Oh, those are big rats.
Yeah.
Those are,
Yeah.
those are big rats for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about these people that went missing, where'd they go missing? When was the last time you guys saw them?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't. And they take a second to think, and the DM's gonna look at some of his notes. Well, there used to be like 22 of us, but Oren and Warren, they were like, I think they were making some food back in the storage area, and then they didn't come back. But then like a day later,
the storage area.
Oh, that way, and they just point back the way you came.
Probably here. It's probably that room with all the wine barrels.
And yeah, so yeah, they just didn't come back. And then a day later, then all of a sudden Korvos went crazy and started yelling about a shape changer. Like we said, if you want to talk to him, he's just, and they point at this direction. If you go down that hallway or up the stairs and to the right, their room is at the end.
Oh, okay. Hey, speaking of stuff that's right here, what's this? And I point to this giant thing on the south side.
Well, that's a Kermexifier.
Okay.
Oh no, I've heard of that.
Of course.
I've heard of that for sure.
Yeah, the Kermexifier turns Jibblebups into Goodoo-Boops.
Okay.
No, I think it's the other way around.
See, one would think that, but we've reverse engineered ours to do reverse engineering on the things.
I don't believe you. You're gonna have to show me.
What are...
Oh, well, gonna come this way. And they both scuttle over and start pulling levers. Is anybody standing near them while they're doing
Doc
Yeah.
Rivers starts to slowly back away.
They start pulling some levers, and then they both pull two levers at the same time, and an electric shock goes out, and they both get shocked, and they fall over and they collapse.
I checked
I knew
the
this was
that at least
dumb.
one of them is
I hate all
the
the inventions here.
we'll say the guy with the
Science
blue
only
hair.
gets you into trouble.
The guy with the blue hair. I checked for his pulse.
Yeah, he's just unconscious, but he's okay. He's not dead.
Okay.
Did he
All right.
look like the shock brought him any kind of like pleasure?
He has a smile on his face.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay. I think we've got all we can get out of this. Let's keep going.
Oh,
All
going
right.
up the stairs.
Okay, cool. Let me reveal some more areas.
I hate all the inventions here, Bjorn.
Yeah.
None of them seem to make sense.
Yeah.
That's a machine that just, when you turn it on, it shocks you into unconsciousness.
Well, I think it's
Yeah,
because they pulled the levers at the same time.
I think they might have switched their personalities. I think their brains switched. I'm kind of
wanna
afraid
go-
for them to wake up.
I want to go this way.
Oh, all right. So Bjorn's going down to the two big double doors, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
All right. So you go ahead and you open up the doors, and it appears to be a throne room. Situated atop a stone dais are two squat thrones made of scrap metal and sized for gnomes.
I yell, hey, UFO,
Yo.
and I go and I run up to the throne, and I'm like, hey, come here.
Oh, I
sit down in it.
I turn around the corner. It's like, oh shit, more us-sized furniture.
I know, right?
This is rad.
Outside thrones.
This is
I'm
awesome.
the king. I forget about all you. Forget about all this. Forget about all that. I'm the king.
Yeah, we're the
Bjorn as he's doing this, and I'm gonna be like, last night, didn't you just say that being a noble was the worst thing you've ever done?
Being a noble, not being king. Being king rocks. Being the noble sucks.
And I'm just gonna kind of like turn around and sigh and start like seeing if I can see anything else in the room.
Yeah, sure. What are you just kind of looking for?
Like, are there any tapestries or paintings or like decorations? Like, is there anything going on besides these chairs?
Yeah, so the chairs are made kind of like out of like scrap metal and stuff like
Right.
that, and you see like different like have you ever seen like thin metal like sculptures, like thin metal sculptures that sometimes people hang on walls, and it's like weird designs and cut out, very like sharp and geometrical and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff like hanging around, but like the ground is bare. There's nothing on the ground or anything like that. So
Okay.
What's behind these thrones?
Do the symbols seem to mean anything or not really?
no, it seems to be just artistic. And Doc, you go to the back and you see it just appears to be like a normal wall. Are you checking for anything?
Yeah, actually, so I'm gonna like as I see just this kind of blank wall, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna examine the armrests and maybe the backs of the chairs to see if there's any kind of like switch, or maybe if the armrest like pops up or there's a compartment or something like that. I'm gonna kind of explore the
throne specifically?
Yeah, the throne specifically, and then if I find nothing there, I
Yep.
will finish the phone I do. Let's go.
What was the second part after the thrones?
Oh, then I want to check the back wall and kind of do the same thing, see if there's like any like
Perception check.
cool. My perception will be. Oh, nice. I have a good perception.
Spencer, could you reveal like the back of the room? I think it's still kind of.
Nope.
I mean, Doc is back there.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Ooh. Okay.
That.
Yep.
Poop on that. No nat one. No nat one.
24.
Ooh, big
Yes.
Much better.
All right.
big
Yeah.
money.
The reason why I couldn't reveal the back room is because I took these maps straight from the DM's guide, and that's the reason why. Because it is a secret door, and you're calling me out for that, Dalton. So yeah, so you like start to like put your hands on the wall, and you notice that like when you get to a certain point, you kind of push in. It is made of stone, and it blends in with the surrounding stonework, but like as you push in, it kind of rotates like it's on a hinge, if that makes sense. And it kind of leads you down this hallway right there, if that makes sense.
Is it dark or light, or like what's going on with this hallway?
This is not lit, yeah, so it's definitely dark compared to
So
like
I'm
the other
gonna-
stuff. Yeah.
Ting my mace on the wall and cast light on the head of the mace.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You do so. You kind of light up your mace, and it leads the way.
Sweet.
Is anybody else following him?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back. Hey, I found a secret door back here.
Secret
sweet.
tunnel.
I don't know.
Let's go.
Ufo's kind of enjoying being Gnome King right
may
now.
Or may not kill us, though. You
Through
know
the
how this
Gnome
place
guard.
is. Maybe it's a secret door that goes nowhere because these guys.
Secret tunnel.
Okay, yeah. So if
All
you
right,
want to press,
let's go through it.
if you want to press forward, yeah, you guys can go ahead. So,
I
all
have
right.
dark vision also, I would like to remind. As a dwarf.
Doc lit up his mace, so you've got
Yeah,
lighting.
so we're good.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
So,
Humans do not have dark vision.
you open up this secret door, and it leads to like a very nice like personal bedroom, like a large size bed. There's like a nice desk, like a nice like table. But the first thing you see when you enter through that door is like the desk that goes underneath the study is like pulled to the side, and there seems to be this like smallish gnome, black hair, kind of like well back, has this kind of like fur coat on. He also has let's see here, a metal crown in his cloak. Like the top has like fur, but it's like patchwork on the way down, and he is like glued to this chair. Like he's like rocking, and he kind of like sees you guys, and he goes, "Shh, shh, don't talk."
Okay, I nod.
And he kind of like points with his head like towards the front door.
And I will turn 90 degrees.
Cool. You see kind of like huddled against this door over here, is like, as you kind of like peek around the corner, you see another gnome who has the same, like a different like scrap like crown and another patchwork cloak, but this time it's like it's more of like a red design instead of like the fur at the top and stuff like that. It's more red, different like red patches over it, and he's kind of like huddled near the door, and he's like rocking kind of back and forth, just looking at the door. And he goes, and he has like, and he's just kind of rocking back and forth, and he's just like, he's like mumbling under his breath.
Can we hear what he's saying?
I make a perception check.
All right.
Which Doc has pretty good perception, so he might be
Pretty
able
good. It's like the one thing he can do is heal and be perceptive.
Those are some good things.
They are good skills. They are nice things to have when you play D&D. So that'll be a 19 total.
Perfect. Yeah, you definitely do. It is easy. He was like whispering under his breath, but you're like kind of like just like looking around, peeking, and he's not even looking at you. You just hear him mutter like, "Shape changer, just a rug, attack. Gotta protect. Keep Nurgle safe. Keep Nurgle safe." He's just murmuring those words over and over again.
Is this a table?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a bureau or desk?
Yeah. And keep in mind, these are all gnome-sized.
Can I make my way over to the desk and see what's going on? He's not paying attention to me, right?
He's not. He's staring at the door. You're gonna have to make a stealth check, though.
Uh-ohs.
Yeah. Is everybody else piled in the hallway, by the way? What was everybody else doing?
Yeah, I'm just kind of at the entryway, just like chilling.
Izufo is still on the throne, just like enjoying himself.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
there anything else that you guys wanted to do? Like, there was like other places you could have gone down. I wasn't sure if you guys were sticking in that room or following along.
5.
Stick with the party for now.
Okay. You got a 5 for stealth?
You got secret door, so you got.
I'm not stealthy, man. I'm walking around in chainmail.
So you kind of like start stepping across, but like it's just chinging, like rattling against, and maybe you like you try to crouch behind the table, but it's just like your mace kind of like pings off your shield or something like that.
Uh-oh.
And Korbaz like turns around, sees you, and like runs back to like this corner over here and puts his arms against the wall, and he goes, "Ah! It's here! It's here! The shape changer! Wait, you've come to kill me! Ah!" And he puts up his fists like he's gonna attack you.
Okay, Nivara.
I am gonna like come into the room, and I'm just I'm gonna say, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We're not shapeshifters. We're too dumb to be shapeshifters.
How'd you find the secret door?
It's not very well hidden.
No, stay away from Nurgle.
We're not gonna hurt you or Nurgle.
Then why are you near him? You're gonna hold him hostage to get me.
No, we just want to talk to you.
No! Shape changer!
I am gonna put my hands in the air and I am gonna kneel on the ground to show that I am not gonna hurt them.
Ah! He's freaking out.
And the other one isn't freaking out?
He's stuck to the chair. He's like trying to like get out, and he goes, You can't
I'll
reason
start
with
playing
them.
bagpipes. Just start playing bagpipes.
So while all this commotion is going on, you hear the burst of sound of bagpipes just going over. So Now there's like yelling and screaming and bagpipes going on. There's a gnome attached to a chair trying to wiggle out of it. Everybody's like yelling and at each other. Naivara's on her knees trying to
play the bagpipes to get everyone to stop yelling.
All right, I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy to make my voice 3 times louder as it normally should be and go, everybody, calm down.
Upon hearing that, Corbal's like sinks to the ground and gets in a fetal position and starts crying.
God.
I'm okay with the end result, but I'm not happy about the method. So I'm going to turn to Nurgle. Nurgle. I'm going to turn to Nurgle. And he's tied up.
Yeah, he's just sitting there just like,
Can I just untie him?
Oh, no, well, okay. So you go over to the chair, realize there's no ropes, so maybe you try to pull him from the chair, and the chair comes with him.
Oh, he's like actually glued to this chair.
Yeah, Nurgle goes, yeah, that's not gonna work. He glued me here.
Oh. But you understand that we're not the shapeshifters, right?
I mean, like, I guess you could be, but you probably would have just eaten one of us already. And I don't think there's 5 of you.
That's also true.
Or 4 of you. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Who's in that hallway?
Hey, everybody, come on this way. Hey, we also have another little person.
References
Ufo, we have your kinfolk. Come talk to them.
Ufo shouts back, "That's no way to address your king."
All right. Lord Ufo.
Right.
You need to come talk to these people.
Oh, okay,
they'll
cool.
Trust you because you're,
Their king.
See eye to eye easier.
Sure, yeah. And I dismount and come up to the party.
Perfect. All right, so you guys are in this room. So for the moment, it seems like things are like at ease. I mean, like that. I'm saying that loosely because you have one of the kings crying in the corner in the fetal position. Where Nurgle seems cool. He's just glued to this chair.
I can cast Firebolt.
No.
At the chair.
On whom? Oh.
Chair?
I would advise not doing that.
It was more of a joke. I wasn't really gonna do that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I've been stuck to this chair for a while. I am. It's hard to sleep on this thing. I mean, I've had this itch on my lower back for like at least 3 hours.
Can I reach the itch?
No, it's like glued. What'd you say, Dan?
We both wanted to scratch his itch for him.
Okay. I mean, you can try scratching the back of the chair. Maybe the vibrations will help.
Is this like I go up? Is this just like normal glue?
Mm-mm. I'm sure Corbal's has this solvent somewhere in this room, but I just haven't been able to find it yet. That's important though, with the fact that he is insane right now.
And we've got eyes on him. Could you just like take off? Like this might be embarrassing, but we're in your bedroom. Could we just like cut your clothes off and you put on new clothes?
Well, I mean, my forearms are stuck to this thing.
Oh, like your skin?
Your forearms out?
Yeah.
Skin's on there?
Grow new forearms?
Okay. Do you know where the solvent might be?
Can't you heal that, Rivers?
Oh, I mean, I could, but let's just check this desk right here for the solvent. And then there's a bureau over there. There's an armoire right that way. Let's check those places first before we just start, ripping his arms off the chair.
So some of you are searching the room, it sounds like, but Naivara, you asked him what's going on, right? Like what happened? Okay. So while you guys are searching the room, like Nurgle just goes, so I was in here I was taking some notes and all of a sudden Kerbos just like ran in here from our throne room, started screaming about a rug, like attacking him. And yeah, like our rug. And I was like, I don't like. I tried to calm him down. Yeah, we've never had a rug in that room. So I try to calm him down and say there's no rug, but he just knocked me out, glued me to this chair, and locked the door. And we've been here for 3 days.
That's a big bummer.
Yeah.
That's what that smell is.
Yeah, I don't ask. But yeah, so he's scared to death, as you can see by my husband crying in the corner over there. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do to stop him from freaking out. But
Has he ever done this before?
I mean, like, he's always been a bit eccentric, but like not terrifying eccentric. Like, he's not Factor level, you know? That guy just spends months crafting crossbow things, and we told Factor, just shoot the rats. And he just tries to shoot whatever comes in the room.
That he
does.
does. That he
Yeah.
really does.
It's just, ugh.
Why do you keep that guy around?
Well, he's a gnome. He's my people. I mean, whatever your subjects are, crazy or not, they are your people, and you have to take care of them, no matter their mental illness.
Right, yeah, take care of.
No matter.
Ah, you're funny. Great. If only I wasn't glued to this chair, I'd be clapping for you right now.
We're trying.
Ah.
So I want to like walk over to what's his name and just be like, hey bud, I know you're in the fetal position right now, and that sucks. But like, where did you see the rug?
He just squeaks out, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!"
All right, we're gonna take the rug was the shape changer. We're here to kill the shape changer. Where was it, bud? You gotta tell us. We'll make your problems go away.
He continues to cry. He is not responsive. But through sorry, don't. Did you want to say
Was there a rug in the throne room that any of us remember? Okay.
No, Spencer explicitly said there was nothing else on the floor.
Yeah. You guys do find though, in your searching, so with somebody finds a small chest under the gnome's bed. So you kind of like one of you guys kind of pull it out.
Seen this chest here before? Is this your chest?
Nurko goes, "Yeah, that's private, but I guess you could look for the solvent in there."
Yeah, okay. I open it up.
All right. Inside, you find a hat of some sort. It looks like kind of like a flat-billed cap with like a pointy end that kind of flops at the end, and what appears to be a wand. But no solvent.
Okay.
Wand.
Does the wand have a? Never mind.
Yeah, it's definitely a wand. It's not like a gnome-sized something or other.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely a wand.
I just pull out the box and I show it to everyone and I go, I don't think the solvent's in here.
Don't look like it, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you know what this can you tell us what the wand is for? Could the wand be the solvent guy?
No, it's not. It's just a wand of pyrotechnics. It's good for like setting things on fire. It's one of our treasures. But you know, talking to Corbos right now, Corbos, it's probably not gonna work. Can you guys just go find this like shape changer and try to kill it or whatever, and then like maybe telling him that like will help him out and make him like snap out of this or whatever?
Yeah.
I just
think that works.
before we move
Find
on,
a rug.
Ufo is like vibrating with excitement about the wand of pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he gonna do anything with it?
I mean, he's not gonna. He's making a mental note that when we solve these people's problems,
He wants it.
and ask for treasures, that wand is at the top of that list.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Yeah, so Nurgle has kind of communicated to you guys, hey, like my other king, he's insane. Like maybe kill this shape changer thing or wherever, somewhere in Nomagard, and he'll be better. And you guys found a couple magic items, but it was in a small chest underneath their bed. So, what do you guys plan on doing? Or we can kind of pick this up if we want to take our break real quick, and then kind of move forward from here. Maybe find that shape changer.
Sounds
That
like
sounds good to me.
Now's a
I
good time to
use
take the
restroom
break.
All right. So, will the party members find this shape changer and get it out, rid of it, and solve the insanity that that has taken over Korbaz's mind? Is Factor gonna be okay? Let's find out after we take this short break. See you guys in like 5 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs. Now, we are doing the Essentials Kit from Dungeons and Dragons. About Dungeons and Dragons. From Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, whatever. It's the same thing. So, we are doing the
By
introductory...
Dungeons and Dragons?
By Dungeons and Dragons. By Wizards of the Coast. So, we are doing the Essentials Kit for Dungeons and Dragons. It has the starter adventure called Dragon of Icespire Peak. We are currently on one of the very first quests in Nomagard, solving the mystery of the Shape Changer. Our party members have found 2 kings, the 2 gnome kings, one of them insane because he met this shape changer and glued his partner to a chair. Currently, the party members have fully explored Nomagard and now have to find the shape changer. But for everybody who's just joining in, could everybody just reintroduce themselves real quick, themselves and their characters? Can we actually start with Ashley as...
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I am playing Naivara Adar. I am a moon elf bard, and I have a twin who is also in the party. His name is Novo Adar. He is played by Christian, who is not able to join us this evening. And Novo went off his jolly way to research how to attach a crossbow to a crab barrel.
With his butterfly wings.
With his butterfly wings, which is just a whole slew of interesting, but
yeah,
hopefully Novo will be rejoining us next week.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. So to her left we have Justin as...
Hi everybody, Justin. I'm playing Doc Rivers, our troops doctor. Yeah.
Perfect. And then to Justin's left we have Dan.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dan, playing Bjorn Mountainside, a fighter who used to be a noble. Now he's a semi-pro wrestler who admires the heck out of Doc Rivers.
Aww. Friends. And then, last but not least, we have the wonderful, the Pyrotechnical Gnome that Dalton's playing. Who are you playing?
I'm playing UFO, as previously mentioned, the pyrotechnics expert of the group, and he just got word of a very interesting wand that he wants to take home, and he's going to be trying to figure out a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't just take it.
Oh, halflings I'm not going around trying to steal.
Right, because what halfling has ever stolen things or been known for stealing?
Yeah, none. It's never happened.
All right. Well, I mentioned this in the break, but you guys have explored most, if not all, of Nomagard that's important. So if you guys would like to freely move across the map and kind of do things as you wish, go ahead, and I'm going to open that up to you guys. So what would you like to do?
Real quick, I just want to ask, who is the man glued to the chair again?
Nurgle. So
Nurgle.
It is King Nurgle.
Okay.
He is seems to be the sanest gnome you've met so far in the kingdom. His name is King Nurgle. And then King Korbaz, is the one in the fetal position crying.
Yeah. Okay.
And they are both king.
They are both kings.
Yeah. Nurgle, we're gonna get you out of here, and we're gonna fix your husband. While he's been keeping you trapped here, has he mentioned any descriptors about the shape changer, like anything besides the fact that it was a rug at one point? Nothing at all?
No. He just because he said it transformed. So he said it was a rug, and then it like grew teeth and tried to eat him. So
Oh.
that's all I kind of got out of it. He was just screaming about it. So I don't know what else it could be.
Okay.
If he says it's a shape changer, I imagine it could be like anything else.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna go around and keep exploring. Are you good here? Are you gonna be okay?
He like looks down at his like glued arms and he goes, "Yeah, I'm good."
Okay.
Do you
Well,
need anything to eat or drink or anything?
I mean, Corvaz has been slipping me some like mushroom bread that we've been getting from under our door, but yeah,
How do you go to the bathroom?
magic.
Magic. Yeah, and Nurgle kind of looks at Ufo and winks.
Oh, right, because he probably knows prestidigitation
Yeah.
too, so he's just like cleaning himself up with magic after it just happens.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not the worst.
Gross.
Okay. So, like, knowing we're looking for a shifter of some kind, I want to go back through at least the next, like, the throne room and just like poke at everything. Like everything
sure.
that's not
Yes.
stone.
Is everybody traveling with him, by the way? I'm going to make sure that everybody's describing where they are while they're doing stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm not splitting the party right now, so if we're in here, then so am I.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, I am also sticking with the party.
Okay.
Yeah.
I too will stick with the party.
So party
Ufo,
goes to the throne room, starts poking everything that's not cave wall.
yeah, you guys start poking things. You poke like the thrones. You poke like the dais. You start poking like the sculptures.
I want to poke the doors.
How are you poking things? What items do you have that pokes? Because I know that Dr. Rivers has a mace. So
I have my great axe or my battle axe or whatever it is that like I can just like poke with the sharp part of it.
okay. So Bjorn has a great axe. What is Ufo poking with?
Ufo's probably poking with his quarterstaff.
Quarterstaff. Okay. Nivara, what are you poking with?
I have a short bow, so I'm going to be poking with one of the arrows.
Arrows. Okay.
But
cool.
I'm also like I've got like a I've lit a candle from my scholars pack that I'm kind of holding up to try to get like a good look at stuff too.
Yeah. And then Dr. Rivers, are you using your mace?
I was just double checking if I can cast my light spell on one item at a time.
Okay.
Yes. So only one item at a time, because I wasn't sure, because I was going to give Ufo a little light spell on his stuff, but I can't do that. But my mace will have light on it.
Perfect. How hard is everybody poking? Are we doing like attacks? Are we like damaging items, or are we just kind of like
nudging them?
Nudging
Yeah.
them? Okay.
I would
Cool.
prefer to nudge. Can I actually go back into the bedroom and like make sure I poke like the bed and like the
Sure.
desk and
But
stuff?
were you helping out in the throne room first?
I would prefer to.
You're splitting
not.
from the party. Okay, cool. That's good to know. So everybody else is in the throne room poking, and Nivara's in the bedroom poking stuff and tapping things and everything. So you guys start doing that. Start hitting the sculptures. Start hitting the thrones. Nivara starts hitting the bed and the desk and stuff like that. Nothing appears to happen. All the objects remain as objects.
Okay.
I come back into the throne room.
Hey, I think I saw there was a precipice up in that room where those dwarves had their shock themselves unconscious machine for reasons I don't understand.
You don't have one of those back at home?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's like commonplace.
That's a
commonplace where I come from.
Well,
how do you get to sleep?
Then I just laid down. Also beer. I have a lot of beer and then I lay down.
I'll have to give that a try instead of the shock therapy.
Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, however it works. It doesn't matter. I don't want to yuck your yum. Doesn't. It's fine. But anyway, there was. I didn't see what was up there, but there was like a cliff kind of just in the room where that machine was, and I know that there's a hallway down, so maybe we can get to it from that hallway up at the top of the stairs right after that machine. Does anybody want to check that out with me?
Well, wasn't there a door too we didn't open? We didn't, like, on the way here there was like another door to
we did pass
to the left.
door on the right hand side. I kind of wanted to just check what was up there.
There's also like a little like ledge in the workshop.
Yeah, I'm talking about right here is where I would. Oh,
We never went this way either.
Yeah. So can we see what's on this
I'm
ledge?
Pinging.
Yeah. So it sounds like Doc and Bjorn are going to the ledge, and Ufo, were you going to the locked door to the south?
I was gonna go, this door here.
Yeah, it's
I'll
locked.
stick with UFO so people aren't left.
Cool.
It's
so
locked.
Nivara and Ufo, you get there. Yeah, it's a locked door.
If I knock, does anything?
No.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Doc and Bjorn, you open up your door. It just leads right out to the edge, and you can kind of peer down. Fibblestib and Dabbledop still kind of like unconscious, like maybe they're murmuring and stuff like that. But you actually find that there is a wooden pedestal on which sits a leather-bound book. Looking at it closely, you see that the cover describes its title as Magic of Gnomengard, and magic is spelled Magick.
This
Poke it.
This looks pretty cool.
And I actually want to take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I would like to pull. I'm going to hold up my amulet, and I'm going to sit down, crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
And I am going to, like, the amulet kind of floats up in the center a little bit with some kind of like silvery, so like almost kind of, it looks like steam.
Yeah.
Kind of forms in here, and then like the amulet just kind of starts to float. And I am going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual. And
Yes.
while we're learning about stuff, if you have the ritual casting feature, you may, depending upon the spell, cast a spell as a ritual if it has the ritual title, which means that you have to spend 10 times the normal time that you would spend casting it. So it's one action. I think it's actually 10 minutes.
It's
one action.
It's 10 minutes plus the normal casting time. So
Yes,
it's 10
thank
minutes plus an action. Basically 10 minutes.
Yeah, so basically 10 minutes plus 6
Yeah.
seconds. 10 minutes and 6 seconds to cast that spell. But the cool thing about that is, players, the caster does not spend a spell slot to cast that spell. So that's the big win with taking the time to do these as rituals, if you have the time to do so in game.
And only certain classes get ritual casting. So
That's right.
Justin being a cleric and Ufo being a wizard both get ritual casting. Whereas I believe bards do not get ritual casting. I believe they are just normal spellcasters.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
think that's right.
yeah.
But yeah, so I will spend 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic, and that will let me sense the presence of magic within 30 feet. As I do so, it forms faint auras around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and I learn its school, if any.
Yeah. And since this is taking 10 minutes, I do want to say, Ufo and Nivara, are you guys gonna join Bjorn and Dr. Rivers on the ledge, or are you gonna continue doing other stuff? And Bjorn, are you staying there? Are you are you watching Dr. Rivers perform his ritual, or are you leaving somewhere else too? So first,
No, I think I think Bjorn probably just gets a little bit bored and walks away somewhere else and goes and joins
Naivara, Ufo, and yeah. So what are you three? What are you two doing?
Doc, you okay? You
Can I cast
all right?
Firebolt at the door handle to try to get it to open?
What are you casting at it?
Can I try to cast Firebolt at the door handle?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, cool. I actually have to look that up because I have never used it before.
No worries.
That's a pretty powerful spell.
Yeah,
Firebolt.
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 It's still
It's a
one of the best
cantrip.
cantrips. Yeah, it's still one of the best cantrips.
Yeah.
1d10 fire damage with a spell attack, I believe. And it's got good range.
Yeah, it's 120 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so would I add my spell attack bonus to it then?
Yeah.
Ranged spell attack?
Yep. Your
Okay.
your spell attack bonus is going to be your proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier.
Oh, but I'm casting this with my wizard, so it's actually a 3, not a
Oh yeah. So the reason why Ashley has this Firebolt spell is because being a high elf, she gets access to one cantrip from the wizard spell list. So she is using her feature as a high elf to cast this cantrip spell. So
Yes. I rolled a 14.
14 to hit. So I had to look this up because it doesn't seem like the Essentials kit has any rules for doors. So it says that the door has an AC of 15. And so that I like to describe this as maybe you're like winding up your magic firebolt and you shot at the door, but you didn't have enough oomph behind it, so it kind of flickered out and stuff.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna turn to UFO and I'm gonna be shrug and I'm gonna be like, that's all I got.
We can come back and check this out later.
Maybe find an actual key.
Yeah, maybe find a key somewhere. Let's go check up on Doc and Bjorn.
While you guys are making your way there, Doc, you finish up your ritual. And you kind of like the same thing that that Ufo saw when he smelled the magic earlier. It's just this whole place is just like filled with magic all around it. And looking at the book, it doesn't seem to be magically innate itself. I might change that depending on when you guys find out what it actually is, because I actually don't know if it would be magical, but I don't believe this thing is innately magical. So
Okay. So I'm just gonna take a minute to scan the room, and can I just kind of? It says it's only 10 feet. Can I just kind of? Is it sloped? Can I just slide down?
yes, yeah,
Cool.
You can slide down. No harm.
Cool. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna take a look at these tables that we have here. Just kind of like take a look, and as I'm looking around, I kind of think about it. It's almost like the more magic-y stuff is, the kind of more steamy it is. With my the way my magics work. When I see stuff is kind of like steamy. It's hot. Hot. It smells like it's hot and smells like cinnamon buns, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I think that's what UFO described.
You get all sorts of faint different colors of all sorts of schools and smells and all sorts of stuff like that. But looking at all this stuff, nothing like really seems to work. It's like ingredients all over the place. So like the components of like a spell pouch is like sprayed out in like different forms on these tables.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, yeah.
Oh, it's and then I wanted to take a look at this machine as well.
Yeah. While you're doing that, what is Bjorn, Ufo, and Naivara doing?
Can Ufo probably ask Doc, like, hey, can I get a look at that book? If you're done with it?
Yeah, go for it. I didn't touch it. I don't trust strange magic books.
those are the best kinds of books. And UFO starts to like flip through it. And like, does this remind him of a spell book at all?
It is
Or
a spell book.
okay.
It is a spell book. So, I looked it up. Spell books apparently are not innately magical. So I just want to make sure of that because I wasn't sure if like because they have written spells in it, does that make them magical? It does not. So, yeah, it contains the wizard spells Burning Hands, Detect Magic, Identify, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Shield, and Sleep.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes UFO's like flipping through this. It's like it's gonna take some
Happy
time.
birthday, UFO.
Time to copy this down. I'll ask if I can hold on to this. When are they still unconscious?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Maybe
leave a
you
note.
Just ask the king,
I'll leave a
One-
note.
the sane one.
I'll leave a note.
By the way, so Justin, you
My
look
book.
over at the machine that Fibble Stib and Dabble Dop are at, and it is just pulsing with evocation magic.
Oh. All right. Look, nobody touch it. It's just a pain machine. I don't know why they have it.
Yeah. To everybody at home, basically there are several different types of magic schools. Specifically, evocation, like I just mentioned to Justin, is like where you get like fire spells, water spells, like thunder and lightning, all that kind of good stuff is like evocation magic. Whereas like abjuration is like protection and glyphs and stuff like that. So like, while Justin was like, while Doc Rivers was looking at the other workshops and having all sorts of different magical components there, when he looked at this, it just seems to be radiating like magical, like pure elemental energy type deal. So.
All right. Well, if they're still out and not pulsing with energy, I'm gonna search their pockets real quick. See if they have I'm looking specifically for a key.
Yeah.
Seems questionable.
They do. They have the key. They have a key.
Sweet. I'm just gonna walk up these stairs and be like,
Do you know that we were looking for a key, Doc?
"Oh no, I hear you guys up at the top of the stairs, right?"
Yeah.
Well, you heard me frickin'
Roof
rip off
was
the
at the book.
firebolt at the door.
Or has the
Oh,
book. Yeah.
UFO's at the book. Hey, what should find up there, UFO?
And he's kind of like lost in the book. He's like, I'll show you later, and he's just kind of like still flipping through.
Oh, I found a key in one of these guys' pockets.
And he kind of like mumbles like the locked door probably. Still flipping through the book.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm
Did
coming
I
up.
hear this? Did I hear this?
I'm being pretty loud.
Doc,
You at least
Doc,
hear
we
my
got
part.
the locked door over here. Follow me up the stairs.
Oh, great! Boop 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 boop. Clang clang clang. Jangle jangle jangle.
All right,
jangle.
so
Run to the door.
you put the key in. You're able to unlock the door just fine.
Is the doorknob hot because I cast firebolt on it?
Yeah, but it's cooled off by now.
You little.
Yeah, it's like yeah. If you remember your fire training, it's like warm to the touch, and like maybe in Doc's head it like triggers like, oh, maybe there's a fire on this other side of the door.
Oh yeah. Wait. You guys sure you want to go? This knob's pretty hot.
I cast firebolt on it. It's fine.
Oh well, yeah. Okay then. And I touch the handle real quick. Open the door.
All right, and I'll read the description. So inside this room, it contains a jumble of non-functional gnomish gizmos, as well as loose gears, twisted bits of metal, and other scraps that gnomes use to cobble together new inventions.
I poke everything with my arrow.
Yeah. It's gonna take a while to do that, but you can start doing that.
I start poking at everything. What's this
Hey.
lever?
It's not connected to anything. It's just loose like things and like just
I,
metal
Can I
scraps.
still flip the lever?
Yeah, it's not connected to anything. Like you could probably pick it up and then just shift it one end to another.
So,
Bjorn, were you saying something,
Bjorn's,
buddy?
like wandering a little bit, and he's just like gonna like without saying anything, just kind of like wander and go this way.
Yeah. Yeah, so in that direction, I'll go ahead and kind of reveal that area. So in this direction over here, you actually find the floor of this cave is strewn with remnants of old campfires. 4 side caves serve as sleeping areas with 5 small wood cots crammed into each one. And then you just see probably about 8 rock gnomes sleeping soundly here. And yeah, so you kind of like tiptoe in, and like they're just all sleeping.
Oh. I walk out.
Okay.
Oh,
Just like
actually,
we're back to the bushes.
I want to go stand on this ledge and like just have like a moment. you
Okay.
know?
Yeah, what's going on in Bjorn's head in this moment as he stares out
Nothing.
to
Absolutely
the misty
nothing.
water?
Absolutely nothing. Like it's radio dead.
Beautiful, beautiful. I just imagine there's like birds just, and then there's like mist and like a beautiful thing, and it should be like wondrous music going on in the background. Bjorn's like looking out, and then like if we saw like a picture of the inside your head, it's just blank space, just blackness.
Yeah, he also and then also like just in that blackness, just like an immediate like an urgent dread, like, oh shit, I better see. I want to look and see if like I see like a body floating or anything.
Nope.
No bodies or anything. No bodies floating.
Nope.
Nice.
Okay, sweet.
Doc, what are you doing in the scrap room?
Well, so there's this piece. I'm not exactly sure what this is over here.
Yeah.
Can
It's.
I get a little more closer look at it?
If you kind of like, are you like searching around? Well, like Nivera's like poking things with an arrow. Are you like searching this room and you kind of like
yeah,
trying
I'm just
to
taking a look at her. I'm just taking a look around. We were told that there was a, we might be looking for a rug. We might not be looking for a rug.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing, it's probably not a pile of things. I don't know what the rules are with shapeshifters, but that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, like, you open that chest and it's just like an empty wooden chest and stuff like that, but like if you're searching for stuff, like that's something you can do.
Oh yeah, so at first I'm just looking around the room.
Okay.
And then I see this. It's a chest.
Yeah, it's just a chest.
I'm gonna take out one of my crossbow bolts.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put my mace in my other hand, and I'm gonna throw the crossbow bolt as hard as I can at the chest.
Yeah, it probably sticks in it. It just sticks in the wooden chest.
All right, cool. Then I'm gonna check and see if there's any like tripwires or anything on this chest, just in case.
Yep.
Defensive mechanisms.
You do so.
Gnomes and their defenses.
Yeah, like
nothing seems to be trapped in this room.
All right, so I'm gonna open this chest.
Yep, it's empty.
It's
It
empty.
bites you.
Yeah,
No,
like,
it
what?
doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
All right. Nivara, I don't think there's anything in this room. I think this is just kind of junk.
Why was the door locked?
Maybe they wanted to make sure that the junk stayed in. People didn't just take the junk to build giant crossbow machines of death.
Clearly that didn't work though, because they have a giant death machine anyways.
Well, maybe that was made before they decided to lock this door. They don't really seem like... I mean, they're just... they're like, oh, we have a functioning monarchy. And it was like, do you?
Do you?
Do you really, though? But, they seem to be happy, so whatever. We really should find those... I don't think... You don't think they'd be able to turn the... turn the gnomes into these parts. Nah, that's crazy.
That does sound pretty crazy.
Yeah, what's in this pile of parts? I'm gonna search this.
So you start searching, and among those things, you actually find what appears to be like a shiny amulet and a pole. And out of all the junk in the room, these don't things. One of these things is not like the other.
Has it been 10 minutes since Doc cast Detect Magic? He might still have that up.
Yeah, you definitely see that these things are radiating magic. Like before, like you couldn't just like looking in this room, like everything in Gnomegard's covered in magic, but like picking these two things up specifically, they're radiating with magic.
Oh, ooh, hey, look what I found, Navar. Let's take these back to UFO and see if he knows anything about these.
I mean, whatever you say, it looks like junk to me because like I can't see the cinnamon smelling light.
So going back to UFO. Oh, is Bjorn back in the workshop room, by the way?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. You guys all huddled together in the workshop room. Doc presents to the party the amulet and the pole.
What's the second word?
Pole. P-O-L-E. A pole.
Why?
A wooden pole.
It's a magical wooden pole.
Seems to be.
Does it have teeth?
No.
Oh, do I know? Hey, I would know the amulets and the pole schools of magic if they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Don't know that offhand. So why don't you guys plan? While I'm looking this up, why don't you guys kind of plan out what you're gonna do next?
I mean, if we've got, I really want to find this shape changer. I think like I can figure out what these things are, but it'll take a good amount of time. I just really want to know what's going on with this shape changer, and then we can take our time with all this stuff.
I think. Wait. Oh, remember how they said people went missing in the storage room?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of barrels in there. That's a singular shit. Let's go to the storage room.
Go check out the storage room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of hit me.
Okay.
All right, you guys can make your way there.
Sweet.
While I'm still looking this up.
All right. And
No worries.
the two gnomes that got knocked unconscious by the machine are still super unconscious.
Yeah.
That can't be good for their brains.
Can we like lock the door and put the key back in their pockets?
Sure can.
I hand the key to Navar. I'm like, yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah, that's a you problem now.
Bjorn, do you look for anything as you cross back over the bridge?
I make a second look for any bodies.
Double check that crab.
Double check the crab.
Oh man.
Game
yeah.
Master. Oh, sorry, you're doing stuff.
Yeah, he's looking at stuff.
I'm gonna say that the amulet is probably abjuration, while the pole is probably transmutation. Because transmutation, like enlarge like a transmutation thing.
I think so. I think
Okay.
enlarge reduces.
I would
the
think.
spell.
And that didn't spoil what the thing was. So okay, cool. Yeah.
It's
I
a
think
little
in-
stick or a big stick.
All right, cool. Yeah. So all right. Sorry, Ashley. What'd you say?
Bjorn was looking for any signs of life as he was crossing back over the bridge.
Yeah.
But I'm not being obvious about it. I'm,
Right.
just looking over.
Nothing. No body
Okay.
floating. No bubbles in the water. Your crab is
Okay.
still stuck in the bridge.
Nobody
Yeah, this is
notices
very
that.
eerie, but
Does anybody notice Bjorn being like
Weird.
weird or on edge?
Bjorn, do you want to make kind of like a stealth check to kind of conceal you looking over the edge and stuff like that? And then do you guys want to make everybody make a... Well, no.
Well, it's
I'll
probably
do
just
it against
against all of our
your guys' passive
passives.
perception.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just our passives.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hiding it.
Except for Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers noticed Bjorn kind of like peering over the edge a bit, over the bridge, and then just kind of like looking over and then just kind of moving back and stuff like that. But nobody else does.
Doc's passive perception.
It's 16.
Dan rolled an
Dan
18.
rolled an 18.
Oh, sorry. My roll 20. Oh, I'm sorry. It got froze. My bad.
Okay.
Nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. I'm sorry.
It's like
I'm sorry.
Doc
I
is
saw him look-
level
Ashley,
1.
14.
Turned out
Spencer.
it was just a spider.
Yeah.
Doc thinks to himself.
So no, nobody
Okay.
saw it.
Cool.
Sorry, Dan. All right, you guys.
Bjorn's the squirrel.
You guys are in the mushroom wine room with all these barrels. So
Are there? Can I investigate for any pressure plates, trap doors, secret tunnels, things of that nature?
how are you doing this?
Imagine that I am like getting down on my hands and knees and I am looking at the floor and I'm like looking behind barrels and stuff.
I want to see which barrels have wine.
Can I look at the barrels that are on animation cells?
Yeah. So Ashley, you're kind of like on your knees, kind of like searching for any like pressure plates and traps and such, right?
I'm looking for pressure plates right now.
Okay. Bjorn, you go down, and then UFO goes down to the southern end of with all the barrels and stuff. Those ones, they are, let's see, how do I describe that? They are half full? Yeah.
Half empty, God.
Half empty. Thanks.
All right. Well, I guess the only thing.
The barrels in the
Right,
south
right.
alcove have been tapped with wooden spigots. 2 of those barrels are half full, and 2 are near. Well, there was 2 nearly empty, but somebody drank all of one of the nearly empty ones, and so one
Right.
is empty, one is nearly empty. And then all the other barrels do not have spigots in them. They are just like up against the wall, apparently filled with wine.
Okay, so only 2 of them on the south wall have been tapped.
Yeah, but no, all 4 of them.
No,
All
all
four
four
are
are
tapped?
tapped.
Yeah.
So
2
all
are half full, one's empty, one's nearly empty.
and I just want to give like a
Well, it looks
double
like-
check. Open the spigot on all of them. Make
Yeah,
sure that
they all start. Do you put a cup underneath, or are you just letting this go on the ground?
Well, I give Bjorn a heads up and was like, "Hey, get under this."
Well, I said looks like the only thing we can do is finish this, and I just finished the barrel. And yes, I know RD20 1D20 plus. What's my con score? Is it a Constitution saving check, or
Yeah,
is
save.
it just a?
Yeah, save.
Okay, so
you
I
can
get
add your
advantage.
proficiency. Or yeah, advantage
Yeah.
and then proficiency.
Because I have.
Meh.
I forgot to put a space.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
yeah, you're doing fine. You're chugging along, and you're a-okay, good sir. So, it was gonna be a higher check because there's 4 of these barrels, but you're doing okay. So, yeah, checking all these barrels, they all pour wine just fine. They don't seem to be reactive.
What about these barrels?
At this point in time, you don't seem to be finding any pressure plate traps or anything.
Can I pull? Mm. Are we sure this is the room they all went missing in, guys?
I mean, they said they
Bjorn,
went
what are you doing?
missing in the storage room.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they could have moved though. Let's I go back in and I check out the barrel. I want to check out this barrel that this chick is moving messing
Oh,
with.
so you didn't do anything to the northern barrels at all? Okay. You just went
No.
all the way up here in the kitchen? Okay. So Bjorn leaves to go to the kitchen. So is everybody else staying in this room or are they leaving?
Yeah, I actually, before we do that, since I see that Bjorn has kind of neglected this north wall, I'm going to take the butt end of my mace and I'll flip it up around so that, just the handle is so the sharper, spiky bits are not gonna go into the wood. And I tap on the first barrel,
Yep.
trying to see if it's full.
Everybody roll initiative.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. You tap on that first barrel there. Let me tell you guys, while we're all getting into position and stuff like that, and everybody's rolling initiative, I had to roll a d8 to see which barrel which barrel was going to be the barrel that was the mimic, and it was that first one.
Not cool, Spencer. Not cool.
actually, it's a nat 20.
Too bad it wasn't on an attack roll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still though, you get to go first, which might be really helpful in 2 seconds when I go last with the 6. Oh no, Dan and I. And you go before I do because you have higher dex.
Spencer, are you able to put initiatives in for everybody? Or...
I am.
Okay.
So, UFO, you got a 5?
Yep.
Okay, you got 5 already on there. Did you roll 5 last time?
No, I changed it myself.
Dan, you got a 6? Is that right? Ashley, 22 of a nat 20? Yeah.
Yup.
All right, cool, perfect.
Goes
And then what did Doc Rivers get? 6?
Dex.
All right. So you and Dan tied. So
Dan goes first because he has higher dex.
there we go. So if you get a tie in initiative, whoever has the higher dex goes first. So, Dan, by the way, I'm going to move you. You did not get all the way to the kitchen. You probably got to right about here. And then we'll kind of see how this plays out as we kind of get into this combat scenario, okay? So, yeah. So Dr. Rivers, you kind of like hit it a bit, and this barrel just sprouts an arm, sprouts another arm, then these 2 teeth like form out of like the barrel and try to start to go at you, like start to bite you. Now, Ivara, you're quick on your feet, and you see this. What do you do?
Cast bolt at it.
Boom! So make that spell attack roll.
Ooh, it's a critical
Oh,
success.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Okay. Who wants to explain what happens when you get a critical success on an attack roll?
I mean, the person who got it should explain.
Yeah, Ashley, would you like to explain? Yeah.
We'll try to explain, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course.
So when you roll a natural 20 on a d20 die, that is considered a critical success. When you roll a critical success on a hit, you like definitely hit it in 99% of scenarios, unless it's like something impossible to hit. But yeah, I'm really bad at this, but
Okay.
You're doing a good job.
so you get, I don't know if this is a house roll or if this is like the rules, but you get to roll damage twice, and I think for the first one it's full damage, and the second one it's whatever you roll, but that might just be a house roll, and it might be you just roll damage twice.
You got it half right. Yeah, it is just doubling your dice damage. You don't double the modifiers, but you roll your damage dice twice. I know the reason why Ashley was messing up just a little bit on that is because we do have a house roll where instead of just rolling twice, we maximize 1 damage and then like roll the other dice. But we're playing at the official rolls for this Essentials kit. So Ashley, whatever damage die you would use for your firebolt, just use 2 of those, or just double it essentially. So
8 fire damage.
8 fire damage.
Is that
to
doubled
the
or is
mimic.
that just the one? Did you just roll a 4?
She rolled
I
2d10.
rolled a 2 and I rolled a 6.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, it could
8
be
fire
better.
damage. Air fire damage is pretty good. We're
Spencer,
level 1.
Yeah.
this is
True,
kind
we
of
are level 1.
like a turn order question.
Yeah.
So like within the context of the game, right? All of
Yeah.
our turns happen at the same time, right?
Correct. Yeah.
would I be able to use my 6 seconds of speech now? Since like it's technically all happening at the same time. Like if I want to say something that might affect my turn when it comes around to me, or do I have to wait until it's my turn to say that thing?
Well, typically, I know it's technically all happening at the same time, but if like, were you trying to yell out to Bjorn to try to like get him to come back?
I was gonna yell at Doc to maybe stand out of the way.
Okay.
But if I need to wait until my turn to say that, that's fine. I was just wondering if, since it's not like like a full action or something, if I would be able to say that now.
I don't think so, because like technically Doc gets to move first before you, so like he would be like reacting at the same time, so you wouldn't be able to yell out and him like react at the same time. He's just a little bit quicker.
That makes sense.
The reason why I was asking before about like with Dan is because if you were gonna try to call out to Bjorn and say, hey, come back or something like that, but he goes before you, I was gonna say Dan can defer his turn to after like you or Doc Rivers. If like that's not metagaming, that's kind of like although he gets to kind of like take his turn technically before you guys, like I think it's perfectly fine for him to defer his turn in order, because he doesn't know what's happening, to kind of like see if one of you guys call out to him and then just be like, oh, I gotta run back. So but yeah, I would say technically like no.
Okay.
Because Doc gets a reaction before you. So but yeah, Nivara, you threw a firebolt at the mimic. Was there anything else you're going to do? You have movement and you have a bonus action still. And it's okay if you don't want to use those.
Movement. Gonna come over here. Should be about 20 feet of movement. I wasn't planning on doing anything else. I can... No, not yet. I'm good. My turn's over.
Okay, perfect. So, sorry, I was looking some stuff up. Okay, Bjorn, it is now your turn. You are currently running to the kitchen.
Do I hear like things happening in the other?
Probably not. Just because it's like around a corner and stuff like that, and you have the waterfall coming in from like over here. So there's some noise cancellation.
So Bjorn's gonna go, oh wait, I forgot to check those other barrels. I was gonna check those other barrels, but I didn't check them. Oh, I better go back. And yeah, so he's got 25 move speed. So what is that? 5, 10. Can that happen and be 15, or do I have to go 15, 20?
Let's see, 5, 10, 15, and that's because yeah,
5,
it's
10.
Yeah,
so
that can be, this can be 15.
Okay,
one
so
more.
15,
yeah, that's 15. Yeah.
20, 25. And I want to call out, like, hey, everything all right in there? Actually, wait, no.
You can use your action.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to dash. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I have something for this. What do I have for this? Or is that a later thing for fighters?
While you're looking that up, essentially, what dashing is to everybody at home is part of your main action. You can, instead of using it to attack something or cast a spell like Ashley did with Nivara, you can actually use your action to instead double your movement speed. So it's really useful in this situation where Bjorn was kind of like running off to a different location for him to run back into the scenario. And I do want to say, I think that was a little bit of metagaming, but I'm going to allow it because, you know, that's reasonable, I think.
He was going to check the barrels, and he didn't check the barrel. Is it metagaming? Maybe. Hold on. Checking. What do I get as a first level fighter? I'm trying to remember what this, I think it's second wind does.
While Dan
gives you...
Oh, it's action surge. It's not until level 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a major bummer. So I am going to dash and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And we're here for the fight. And I'm going to say, oh, wow. That looks like my intuition was right. I can't believe I forgot to check that. It's insane. Oh.
All right. Next up is Dr. Rivers. Yes, the mimic did roll a 4 for his initiative, so he's going dead last.
Well, that's lucky.
Very
All right.
convenient.
Yeah.
He was a startled little barrel.
Seeing
Yeah, he was as
Bjorn
much
come
surprised
in.
as you guys were, so.
seeing Bjorn come in, Doc Rivers is going to take the disengage action.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you use it, Justin?
Doc actually turns his mace around and turns the light up to 11 real fast, and then uses the flare flash to kind of back away.
Yeah. I like that. And using disengage, so that's another main action consume. So essentially you can use your main action to disengage from an enemy. Because normally, if Justin was running out of the range of the creature, like 5 feet, the creature would get a attack of opportunity. I think we mentioned in the past that everybody gets a reaction on their combat turn. So that would consume the creature's action for that turn, but it gets a free hit as the creature's leaving its attack of opportunity space. But because Dr. Rivers uses disengage as his main action instead of casting a spell or attacking it, he gets out of there without getting hit.
Very nice. And then he will back away. Back here. Get back to Bjorn and go, glad to see you're here. And then he gets ready, because that's his whole action. He doesn't really have a lot he can do in the way of bonus actions.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's my turn.
Perfect. All right, so UFO, it is now your turn.
Okay. Let's
You're in
go.
the back of the room, but you heard some screaming. Probably.
Yeah. So
my
my
flash of light.
my token was there, but I said I was doing the barrels earlier, so I figured I'd be down here. If you want me to be here instead, I can be there instead.
No, you were down there with the barrels.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20.
That leaves. I actually have a question.
Yes.
Is this a true is the grid to size?
The grid is not matched up.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
don't use the measuring tool. Use the actual squares on the map.
Cool. Thank you.
And I'm gonna hold up my hands, and then shoot out a bunch of flames as I cast Burning Hands, and I'm gonna need the thing to make a dex save.
Sure can. All right. Okay, how dexterous is this mimic? It rolled a 12.
Rolled a 12. My spell save DC is 13.
All right. So it fails.
So it fails. So I'm going to
Nice.
double check Burning Hands. I believe it's 3d6 damage. Yeah, so I hold out my hands with my thumbs touching and fingers spread out, and a thin sheet of flame shoots out from my fingertips. And he fails his save, and he's going to take 3d6 fire damage.
Yep.
Which comes out to 15 fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it also is going to ignite any flammable objects in that 15-foot cone.
The gnomes are about to lose all of their stocked wine. Well, I mean, half their stocked wine, essentially.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can find some fire effects while you're doing that.
Oh, it's all
While
done.
you're rolling damage.
I'm gonna back up another 5 feet after I do that. Yeah, back up that way.
Don't mind me just rotating some fire in on here. All right. How much damage was that again?
15 fire
15.
damage.
Nice, 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 nice. All right. Do. All right. Okay, perfect. Was there anything else you were going to do on your turn?
Nope.
All right. So those barrels catch on fire. Before your turn ends, roll me a d20, Dalton, because that's a first level spell, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, right. We're in wild magic territory.
Uh-huh.
I hope you get butterfly wings too.
I got a 4.
Nothing happens.
Cool.
Okay.
I actually know how to cast spells.
Yeah. All right. Well, the mimic moves forward 5, 10, 15. Right up on you, Doc, because you bumped it. You bumped it, and it did not like that. It's gonna make an attack roll against you. Let's see what it does. All right, that is a 18 to hit.
What happens on a tie?
So on a tie with AC, if it matches, it still hits. On the save, if it matches, it doesn't. But if it matches on AC, it does succeed. I believe that's the correct ruling. We can look that up real quick.
Oh, I'm okay with it. Yep, but you hit.
Oh, exceeds the total. It does not hit.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's see.
So on a tie goes to the defender.
Or on Reddit. Oh no.
Reddit's not the player's handbook.
If the total of the roll plus modifiers equals or exceeds the target's armor class, the attack hits.
Boom.
Equals
Sorry.
or
It does
exceeds.
hit, Justin. I'm sorry.
Nah. Roller coaster of emotion, Spencer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it hit, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so it's gonna make a hit. All right, so it's gonna do 4 bludgeoning damage. However, it has an adhesive trait, so the mimic can adheres to anything it touches. So a huge or smaller creature adhered to the mimic is also grappled by it. So, and ability checks to escape this grapple have disadvantage. So grappling, I'll go ahead and read that condition real quick. A grappled creature speed becomes 0, and it can't benefit to any bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated, or if there's an effect that moves the creature away from the grappler, the reach of the grappler, and stuff like that, such as the Thunder Wave spell. So, all right. So Justin is now grappled. He's taken 4 damage, 4 bludgeoning damage, and like I like to think that like the mimic's like tongue like reached out and like wrapped around the waist of Doc Rivers and like pulled him in close. But that's all the mimic can do, and we're right back up to Nivara.
Nivara is gonna cast Vicious Mockery for her action on the mimic.
Yeah.
The mimic only has to hear me, does not have to understand me.
Uh-huh.
So, I am gonna unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments, and the mimic must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll.
It rolled. Yep.
Yes, give me a yes, the spell
A wisdom save? Yep. It rolled a 15 on its wisdom save.
Oh, it
Or 14.
passed.
14. Does a 14 still pass?
It still passes.
All right. I believe that's a spell that does not work because it's a cantrip if it passes, right?
It does not do a thing if it passes.
To viewers at home, a quick note about spells. If it costs a spell slot, usually the damage is if a creature passes a spell save, it's usually halved. But if it's a cantrip, the spell usually doesn't do any damage if they make the save. So, are you doing anything else, Naivara? Are you moving around?
I am.
All right.
I am gonna use my bonus action to give bardic inspiration to UFO.
Yeah.
And bardic inspiration, it's something I get because I'm a bard, and I can use a bonus action, and it works on one creature that is within 60 feet of me. The creature has 10 minutes to roll and add a 1d6 to their roll, but it must be before they know the success or failure of their roll.
Yeah.
In what situations can I add it to my roll? Like what kinds of rolls?
I think it's any roll. But let me look it up.
I think that's right. It's one of the things that
I
makes
think
bardic
it's any
inspiration.
roll that you make. It's just like if it's if it's to hit something, you would have to choose to add it before you know if it fails or succeeds. Page 53 to 54. Oh. Ugh. Ugh.
So once within the next 10 minutes, the creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes.
Okay, so not damage.
Right, not damage, but my to hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are other types of bards found in supplemental books that do allow you to add it to damage and such like that. But to find out more about that, you'll have to learn about the other subclasses.
So Dalton has 1d6 now to add.
Good news.
That's my turn.
All right, perfect. Bjorn, it is back to you. Your friend Doc Rivers, your pro wrestling buddy, is being grappled by the tongue of this weird barrel mimic creature. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna shellac it.
Yeah, shellac that baby.
Am I like, so that's within 5 feet, right? If he's grappling Doc Rivers, am I able, like, for example, to go like behind him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to like go behind him and like just bring my great axe down with like, yeah, crushing might. Just be like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Boop. Sorry, viewers at home. Ooh, okay.
Got to beat
Oh
him.
yeah. Oh yeah, that hits absolutely. Go ahead and roll your damage. That slaps that mimic up good.
Yeah, so 5.
Perfect. Okay. So, you sink some damage in. It's still holding your friend Doc okay, and it cries out in pain. It's like oh type deal and everything. So.
And I with my last words, I just go, release him, and that's the end of my turn.
Perfect. All right, Doc Rivers. Okay, this mimic has grappled you with your tongue. Now, if I remember correctly, you can break out of this grapple, but you have to use your action in order to break out of this grapple. I believe that's how this condition works.
Yeah.
So the pros cons, if you want me to kind of lay it out to you, because just so you know everything on the table. So when it grapples you, it has advantage on attack rolls because it has a grappler trait. But if you try to break out of the grapple, you have disadvantage because it has this adhesive trait. So you recognize, not in those terms, but you recognize like this tongue is like sticking to you. And like it's really hard to get out of it. So you can try to attempt to get out of it, but it might hurt. But the mouth is like closing in around you, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So I am going to. Would I be able to cast a ranged spell?
I believe if you try to cast a ranged spell to a creature that's within 5 feet of you, it has disadvantage.
All right.
That is correct. Ranged attacks of any
Then
kind.
I am going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on myself. Yeah.
And to viewers at home, oh, sorry, go ahead, Justin.
And wow, oh yeah, because I'm a life cleric, right? All right, get all my hit points back.
Nice.
So I go. Meep. And that's my healing word.
Meep.
Meep. And my wounds suddenly close up, and then I'm gonna use my action to attack it with my mace.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Because Healing Word is a bonus action.
Mm-hmm. Healing Word is definitely worth the level 1 spell slot at first level.
So I was going to say, to viewers at home,
God
oh, nice job! Oh, sorry. No, I read that wrong. I'm so sorry.
God.
I said nice job. I'm sorry.
Savage.
So you rolled a 6 to hit.
I missed. I'm done. My turn's over.
You try to swing at it, and it goes like through its mouth. But you healed yourself, so that's good. Oh, okay. So, UFO, it is back to your turn.
All right, Ufo's gonna toss a firebolt at the shape changer. And if Ufo knew how good he was with a firebolt, he would add a number. He's gonna use that bardic inspiration right away.
Yep.
And throw on another 1 for a 13.
That hits.
That hits. A 13's gonna hit.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. That shape changer is gonna take. Not that. We'll say it was a 1. I accidentally rolled a d20, but it was below a 10, so we'll just keep that.
No, it's okay. You can go ahead and roll a d10. I'll allow this.
Are you sure?
By the
Okay.
way, yeah, Ashley, is yours inspiration dice? Is it d6s right now, or is it d4s?
D6.
Oh, okay. All right, just making sure. Sorry, I thought it was lower for some reason at the beginning.
D4 is the vicious mockery.
Ah, because I know bardic inspiration goes up over time, but for some reason I thought it started lower than that. But,
5 fire damage as I toss a simple firebolt
Boom.
the
5
shapeshifter's
fire
way.
damage. All right.
Spencer, they go to 8 at 5th level.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. I was like, did I mess it up?
No. You're good. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of vicious mockery and stuff probably. So yeah, Dalton, you shoot that firebolt. Ufo shoots out that fire. It sinks into the back of that barrel. Now, a mimic is like composed of like this like shape-changing material that's more like liquidy and stuff. So you see it like kind of like reacts, and it kind of like starts spazzing out a bit, and maybe some of it like breaks off of like its shape and like pulls in this like black ichor like around its feet and stuff like that. So it's like losing its like shape, and you could consider this creature bloodied now.
Okay.
Now, to everybody at home, what does bloodied mean? I'll go basically how DMs at home can kind of describe the status of bosses, the status of the status of creatures when you're fighting them, or describe it to your players, because they don't have health bars like in Elden Ring, Dark Souls, that kind of stuff. You just have to kind of like keep hitting it till it dies. But a good way to indicate to your players how the creature is doing in the fight is we like to use the terms, and I think this is a homebrew rule really with the bloodied and critical conditions.
It's a rule carried over from 4th edition. So it's not like described anywhere in 5th, but a lot of people and DMs use use that carried over as like an indicator to the players, like how creatures are doing.
Yeah. So bloodied means the creature is at half health, whereas critical means it's at a fourth of its health left. So I like to get creative and kind of describe it in other ways. Like I was describing like the creature like having chunks of its like black ichor falling off and stuff like that, because not everything bleeds, but everything dies. So anywho, so that you kind of see that it has now reached a bloodied state. So
Cool. And
was there anything?
yeah, I want to look at the back of the room. How does that all that fire, like all the wine and stuff in barrels, does that look kind of contained, or is that like looking dangerous?
It's spreading.
It's not spreading because there's not, it's more of like a dirt floor and stuff like that, but you can kind of see that the structural integrity of the barrels is about to collapse soon.
Oh, so like they aren't leaking yet, just like the barrels are on fire, but they haven't started to spring a leak or anything?
Not yet, but they're getting close.
I turn back to Nivard. Is like, do you know how to make any water? Can you put that out somehow? I can only start fires.
Naivara, you can answer on your turn. Well, it is now the Mimic's turn, and it's gonna bite the thing that's within its grasp. So it is rolling with advantage to attack Dr. Rivers. Dr. Rivers does a... Oh yes, it rolled an 18 again, so... Let's see here. Now, the first move it was using was Pseudopod. It's now using its bite to attack you, so it's a little different. So it's going to roll 2 different d8s. So the first one does 7 piercing damage.
Of course it does.
And the second one does acid damage. Okay, so it's only 1 acid damage. How are you doing, Dr. Rivers?
He looks like he's almost dead. That's how he looks like he's doing.
Oh no. Okay, so that's the Mimic's turn. Naivara, it's back to you.
Use my 6 seconds of speech to call back to UFO, and I'm gonna say I can make it look like there's not a fire. Can I tell that Doc Rivers isn't looking so hot?
Oh yeah,
There's
for sure.
blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super obvious. Okay. Cool. I have to figure out which healing spell I can cast by not touching you.
It's healing word. So a good thing to know at the beginning, you get 2 major healing spells at the beginning, and that's Cure Wounds and Healing Word. And Cure Wounds is a touch spell, so you have to be within 5 feet of the creature, which each of the little squares on the map represents 5 feet. So you have to be right up next to a creature because you touch them and then you heal them, and that has like a bigger healing pool. But the reason why most people really like using Healing Word is because I believe it has a range of 30 feet?
60
feet.
Yeah.
Not only that, instead of a bonus action like Cure Wounds, instead of a major action like Cure Wounds, it is a bonus action.
Yes.
So it's at range spell that's a bonus action. And although it doesn't do that much healing, another good part about 5e is that there's no negative damage. So you're just at the state of like dying. And 1 cast of Healing Word, you're back up in the fight, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, very, very different from previous editions where you had to heal back all of the damage. So
I am going to use my bonus action. I've done speech. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Doc Rivers. I'm healing the Doc, trying to save him. Creature of your choice that you see within range regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Nice.
Yeah.
So roll a 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. You're gonna get 5 health back.
Nice. That puts me back.
And then I'm gonna use my action to cast Firebolt again.
So.
Oh,
That's a cantrip. Yeah. So sorry. I was gonna stop you. Typically, you can only cast a like one spell per turn, but Ashley did something especially right because you can cast 2 spells in one turn as long as one is a cantrip. So she used her bonus action to heal, and her main action
level spell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Roll that d20. Oh crap, Justin, you casted some healing spells to heal you.
Oh,
roll a d20 too.
Is it just a straight d20?
Yep, both of you roll d20s for me.
Rolled a 16.
I got an 8. I explode.
Justin, your skin turns a vibrant shade of blue.
Oh, all right.
And Ashley, you said, what'd you get again?
16.
You sprout wings like those of a butterfly, and now you have a flying speed of 30 feet.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. How tall is the ceiling in here?
7 feet.
I will fly to touch the ceiling.
All right, you do so.
And I'm still gonna cast Firebolt.
Yeah, do it.
It's a 14 to hit.
14 does hit, yes.
It takes 6 fire damage.
Nice.
And anything that is not on it that a firebolt also... Flammable objects ignite if they are not worn or carried.
Mm-hmm.
Is that applicable?
No, because it's not a creature. It doesn't wear anything. Its skin is its
I
thing.
agree.
Yeah, so it looks like a barrel. It's not a barrel though. Perfect. And that was your turn, right?
Yeah.
Bjorn, your friend is being pounded by this weird, unsightly creature. What are you gonna do?
Well, I think there's only one thing that Bjorn really knows to do in this situation, and that's smack him.
Smack
him hard.
him! You rolled a 12, and it hits!
Oh, it hits.
Its AC might be that number.
Oh, I hit F11 accidentally.
Oh no.
Oh my god, what is with... I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Okay, you sink in some damage. You're still dealing some damage to him. He's taking some hits. Still holding on strong to your friend though. So, Dr. Rivers, it's back to you.
All right. Dr. Rivers is gonna just take his mace right to this thing's face.
Mace to his face.
Mace to the face. And slap him.
Slap him.
13 to hit?
hits. Yep.
13 to hit. All right.
Dan rolled a 12, so.
Sweet.
Doing that juicy mace damage.
Doing that super juicy mace damage of max damage.
Yeah,
You just conks him right in that face.
He's looking critical now. He's not looking good. Like his form was like kind of like had chunks in it before. He's like a string now. He doesn't even look like a barrel. He looks like a squiggly black ink monster that's like barely holding on to you with like weird arms and like just like teeth jutting out and stuff like that. It is forming into this like insane looking creature. So
sweet.
Yeah,
that is my turn because I cannot do a whole lot otherwise.
UFO.
All right, yeah. UFO sees that the doc isn't looking too good, so he's not gonna spray fire everywhere. He's looking better, but
Naivara did heal him.
Yeah, but he still doesn't want to just like spray fire everywhere and get someone else caught in it. So he's just gonna throw another firebolt at the guy.
Yeah.
Does a 14 hit him?
Does, yes.
I didn't even add my modifiers.
Doesn't matter. You're so good at slinging fire, you don't need modifiers.
He's gonna take another 5 fire damage from another little quick quick bolt of
Nice.
flames.
Pew! All right, yeah, you sink it in. It's still standing up. It seems to be on some of its last legs, if you can call them that.
I'm gonna back up a little bit though.
All right, and that's your turn, right?
Yes, that is Ufo's turn.
All right. Okay, so it's gonna make another attack against you, Justin. And that is a 16.
Misses this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it tries to like
chainmail.
yeah. So it tries to bite you. How do you block this damage? Is it your chainmail? Is it your shield?
It goes in for like just get this big gaping maw, right?
Yeah.
And it goes in for this big bite, and I just kind of jam my shield right up, and it catches like the edges of the shield as it comes down. Takes a big mouthful of my heater shield.
It's like got its like weird teeth like at the edges as you're like
it's like the teeth is coming over and it's getting slobbery.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like spit is like acid, but it's like falling on your armor, so it's not hitting you. Yeah. All right, perfect. It misses that chunky attack. All right, Naivara, what are you doing?
Bolt at it.
Firebolt, okay. Roll that damage. Or roll that attack, sorry.
Yes, I did that right.
14, that hits.
Damage.
It's dead. It had 5 health left. So how do you do this, Ashley?
Ooh.
How does this creature die?
Well, you see, I am hovering in the air on my butterfly wings, and you see a firebolt straight out of the. Do I have wings and hands still, or do I just have?
No, they spread out your back. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So you see it just come right out of my index finger, and it just comes and it goes like right into what's left of its maw.
Yeah.
And it just and there's just like a burst of flames, and then it just melts into a pile of black goo. Like if you've seen the wonderful film Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, and there's the tar monster. It looks like the tar monster when he dissolves into a pile of black goo, and it's just his little eyeball there in the black goo.
Nice.
That's what happens.
Perfect. I like to think that a little bit splashed onto both Bjorn and Dr. Rivers, like the black ichor kind of like explodes onto them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like not hurt, just like on them and stuff. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's like a pen exploded in my mouth and just.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Well, that is the end of combat. You have slain the mimic. I do want to ask, because we have hit our normal time. We're at 10:03 right now. There is just like a little bit of role playing left of you guys going and telling the kings about the mimic and stuff like that. Do you want to do that right now? I do want to respect your time. If we want to call it here, we can pick up next week and then Nomengard and all that kind of fun stuff. I just want to check in with everybody on that.
Well, we can. I mean, if we got like 5 minutes, that it's only really going to take to wrap up, and then we can.
Yeah, it's talking to them, and that's about it. So.
Okay.
I mean, I got time. I don't know if everybody else is okay.
It's fine with me.
All
right.
Okay for
4
that.
of our viewers.
So, okay. So, yeah, you've slain the mimic. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna. I mean, first we'll walk on our way to the king, but on the way there's the 2 guards that were on the way. We'll give them a shout.
By the way, the barrels exploded from the fire, like as the fight was concluding, and all the wine just like washes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Mm.
Can I try to scoop up some of the black ichor?
Yeah. You, do you have like a flask or something?
I
A
have
bottle?
a water skin.
Are you dumping out your water to fill the water skin with the black ichor? Oh, maybe Novo left you his
Do you
ink.
think he has his ink vial?
Yeah, he probably left that with you. Like, here, listen to some doors. There's gonna be more doors. I can tell. So you want to use that
Alright.
to scoop up The black
I'd
ichor?
like to do that to scoop up the ichor.
And maybe an eyeball?
I don't know. Does he have eyeballs or teeth
Yeah.
left over?
Yeah. He has. There's eyeballs. They're like orangey, kind of like eyeball-y things.
Yeah, I'll like. Is that gonna fit into the ink
Mm.
vial?
Probably not. You probably gotta scoop that up.
All right,
Hold.
I'll just palm it. I'll just carry it.
All right, cool.
And I'm gonna like gag a little bit while I do this, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. So where are you guys going? Are you going to the king's room?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we're walking. We got to pass by here.
Yeah, we passed by the guards. Let them know.
Oh, the guards. Oh, Pog and Ula go, thank you. Go tell the kings. We have to stay here at our post.
Okay.
And as you walk through the workshop, Fibblestib and Dabbledoff have regained consciousness now, and they kind of like journey with you guys to the king's room as you kind of tell them that like, oh, you've slain the mimic. Oh, yay, the shape changer. So they're gonna kind of join you in the throne room.
Yeah,
as
on
you tell them the good news.
On the way, I just want to double check. It's like, yo, I found this cool book, and it's got a lot of awesome ideas in it. Do you mind if I take this with me if I borrow it?
Oh, I'm sure that's fine. Here, let's go talk to the kings, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, cool. It's not your book?
So, well, it's our book, and he kind of like gestures to the Gnome Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys are in the room with Nurgle and Korbaz, and Nurgle kind of like shakes his chair. He's like, "Did you do it? Did you find it?"
Yeah,
I'm gonna come forward with my ink vial filled with black goo and my eyeball, and I am gonna kneel down respectfully, and that's gonna put me at eye level with everyone while they're standing. But that's
probably still above eye level, even on your knee.
But I'm really trying to be respectful. And I'm gonna hold out the goo and the eyeball and bow my head, and I'm gonna be like, "We have slain your shapeshifter."
So, are you doing this near Nurgle or Korbaz?
I'm gonna be by core boss.
Okay, cool. So Korbaz, who is like in fetal position, you kneel down and like say that, and he like opens one eye, and he sees like the black ichor, and he sees like the eyeball, and he goes. He kind of like gets up, and he like kind of crawls over to you and like looks at the bottle, and like looks at the eyeball. He goes, "Yes, you killed it! You've done it! You killed." Oh, thank goodness! Oh, Nurgle! And he like runs over and he pulls out like a little like bottle and starts squirting it on like Nurgle's like on the chair and stuff like that where Nurgle's at. And Nurgle kind of like breaks free. He kind of gets up and he goes, "Oh," and he slaps Korbaz across the face. And they have like a little like fight. And like Nurgle's like laying into Korbaz like, "Don't ever do that to me! Don't glue me to chairs! That's like the 5th time you've done that. You can't freak out over every little thing and glue me to chairs. It's not okay. We have to have healthy communication." And Korbaz just like has his head bent. He's like, "Yes, I know. I'm just scared about you. Yeah, let's go. Let's think." And so they come over to you guys. And Nurgle and Korbaz kind of like take a deep bow. Both of them bow at the same time to both of you, or to everybody here, and goes, "Thank you so much for rescuing the kingdom of Nomigard. We are so thankful that you could restore us to our pristine kingdom once again. Thank you." This is Korbaz saying that, and Nurgle just goes, "Yes, thank you. You said you guys mentioned like a white dragon and everything, right?"
We did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say, please don't glue Nurgle back to the chair.
Korbaz is like, no. A white dragon can't fit in here. What are you talking about? And Nurgle kind of like snaps his fingers and points at like Fibblestib and Dabbledoff, and they run out to like a different room and stuff like that. And then they come back. And meanwhile, while they're doing that, Nurgle and Korbaz like pull the chests from underneath there. And each of them like get out like the magical items that were in there, and like, let's see, Nurgle pulls out the hat and he goes, to our esteemed heroes, I present to you a hat of wizardry.
Ufo's gonna grab the hat and he's like, wow. Are you sure you're okay? You said it was one of your kingdom's treasures.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's nice.
Are you gonna put it on, Ufo?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm putting that hat on.
All right. Let me show to players. Here is what the Hat of Wizardry is.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the hat of wizardry is a wizard item, wizard specific. You have to be a wizard to be able to wear it. And basically, what it lets you do is it lets you try to cast any cantrip with a check. So normally, as a spellcaster, you only know a few cantrips. You're limited, but with the Hat of Wizardry, you can make an Arcana check to try and cast any cantrip on the wizard spell list, regardless of if you know how to do it or not. Very fun item.
You're our only wizard, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be the only one who knows how to work this thing.
Yeah, but giving you the extra utility from extra cantrips on top of the healthy amount of cantrips you get as a wizard, because they're one of the few classes that really gets extra. Or is that sorcerers that get extra cantrips? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. But more cantrips is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So yeah, then Korbaz goes, and I present the Wand of Pyrotechnics, and he kind of like hands it out to like everyone. I'm not sure if anybody specific is gonna grab it.
I just kind of look at Ufo.
It's like Ufo really wants. Everybody can like see that Ufo really wants the wand, but he already is wearing the hat.
I don't care.
Go for it, Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ufo goes and grabs the wand too.
I'm still holding on to an amulet and a pole.
And like immediately like blasts it off, like in the opposite direction of people, but like immediately like lets one off. And he seems so giddy.
Yeah. So yeah, do you want to read the Wand of Pyrotechnics as well?
Yeah, so this is a wand that has 7 charges, and while holding it, you can use an action to expend one of its charges and create a harmless burst of multicolored light at a point you can see up to 60 feet away. The burst of light is accompanied by a crackling noise that can be heard up to 300 feet away, and the light is as bright as a torch flame but lasts only a second, kind of like a big firework. The wand, or a flare. The wand regains all expended charges daily at dawn, and if you expend the wand's last charge, I have to roll a d20, and on a 1, the wand erupts in a harmless pyrotechnic display and is destroyed. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you have to be a spellcaster to use wands, or is that...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that is a a spellcaster specific item.
Cool.
Yeah, so Nurgle and Korbaz, like Nurgle goes, thank you guys so much. We know that you're coming here for magical items. We've sent Fizzlestib and Dabbledob to go fetch some more, so they'll be back here in a second. But we hope that these items will help you in defeating the dragon, and we hope that that Phandalin is more protected with you brave heroes defending its land. And Korbaz just goes, and thank you for curing my insanity with the shape changer. I am deeply in your debt. Hopefully this is a small share of paying that debt off.
Oh, this is more than helpful. Thank you so much for everything. We'll be sure to...
I try to curtsy, but I still have like the goo and the eyeball in my hands.
Yeah. A little bit probably spills on the floor. Yeah. At this point in time, Fizzlestib and Dabbledob kind of like run back into the room, and they're like, we were trying to find the amulet and the pole, but it wasn't in our treasury room.
Oh yeah, actually, so the shape changer, he stole those, and we found them when we killed him.
You
Also,
did?
Yeah, and he before he died, but when we found him, he like lit all the barrels of wine on fire. It was crazy.
Dabbledob goes, "Oh, well, it's a good thing you guys were here and were able to stop him. Sounds like he was a real mess, already murdering some people, lighting our wine barrels on fire, and stealing our items? God, what a nuisance."
Yeah, he did all those things.
It's a good thing we took care of him.
Yes, thank you guys. So, well, just go ahead and hang on to those magical items then.
Oh, great. What do they do again?
Oh, well, one of them is the pole of collapsing.
Oh, cool.
And I'm about to show you guys that. Boop.
That gets big and little.
Justin, would you like to read that one?
While holding this 10-foot pole of collapsing, a wondrous item, common. While holding the 10-foot pole, you can use your action to speak a command word and cause it to collapse to a 1-foot long rod for ease of storage. The pole's weight doesn't change. You can use an action to speak a different command word and have the rod revert to a pole. However, the rod will elongate only as far as the surrounding space allows. So you must have 10 feet to extend it to its full 10-foot range.
And lastly, yeah, go ahead.
When Fizzlesticks and Dabbledop are explaining, you'll see that Nivara's eyes widen really big because all she's picturing in her mind is this fancy pole that she can use to balance herself in situations. So she like comes over to Dr. Rivers and like, "Hey, can I hold your stick?"
Yeah.
And I hold it and I elongate it and then I revert it back to a pole again.
Does he let out a moan? When?
Oh God.
Sorry, never mind.
Oh God. Persimmon!
Persimmon.
But lastly, we have the amulet, and I can read this one if you guys want.
Yes, please.
This copper amulet. Oh wait, sorry, I gotta read this. Should I read this as Fizzlestib, Dabbledop, Nurgle, or Korbaz?
Pick your choice.
I'll do Fizzlestib. This copper amulet contains tiny interlocking gears and is powered by the magic from Mechanus, a plane of clockwork predictability. A creature that puts an ear to the amulet can hear faint ticking and whirring noises coming from within. When you make an attack roll while wearing the amulet, you can forgo rolling the d20 to get a 10 on the die. Once used, the property can't be used again until the next dawn.
Huh. That's cool. Anybody care if I hang on to this?
As long as I can hang on to this pole.
Now, predictability is the last thing UFO wants.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to take this clockwork amulet. That sounds pretty great because my skills are butt.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, is there anything else you guys want to ask about these gnomes or anything else? To be honest, we're done with Gnome Guards. If you guys want to sit off back to Phandalin or to Umbridge Hill, because I know that was on the agenda, you can do so.
Actually, I'm super tired. Can we just rest here maybe for, well, what time is it actually? That's a good question.
How long have we been here?
I would imagine you guys spent quite a bit of time searching like the area and like spending, so it's probably getting around like 7 p.m., 8 p.m.-ish, so like 7:30.
Yeah, can we ask to crash there?
Yeah, absolutely. They show you to probably the cots over here and like kick a few off of the cots and tell them to go work and give you like some cots to go sleep on and stuff. So
before I turn in for the night, I want to go to the edge of the river. And I'm gonna dump the eyeball and the ichor in the river and wash my hands and rinse my vial out.
Yeah, you do that. Give me a d20 roll for perception real quick.
I rolled a nat 1 on perception, and I have a +3, so I have a 4.
Yeah, cool. Yep. Nope, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Everything is fine.
I go back to the cots and I get in bed.
Ufo isn't gonna go to bed. He's gonna go up to Fizzlesticks and Dabbledop, and he's gonna say, "Can you guys, help me, teach me what's going on with the spells in this book?" And he's gonna spend the night copying, the spells he doesn't have from the spell book into his own.
Perfect. Yeah.
Can you read me what those were again, just so I can make sure
Of course.
I have
of
like the
course.
time and money to do that?
Yeah. You know what? How about like I can read it to you again, but I'll send you a picture too. Does that sound good?
Yeah, you can just do that, and we can handle that off
We'll do
camera.
Cool. We'll handle that off camera. So, all right. Well, completing your first quest in Nomengard, and you guys taking a long rest and regaining your HP and all the features and stuff like that, you level up too.
Yeah.
Because this is a milestone campaign. Every time you complete a quest, you get a level up. I guess technically you were supposed to bring the items back to Harbin Wester, but because you're gonna do another quest on the way, I want to give you that level up already, and like you guys have well earned it. So you get all the things you're gonna get for level 2, but we can go over. Everybody can go ahead and level their characters up, but we'll go over that at the beginning of next session, and then get into what's going on with Umbridge Hill if you guys still want to do that on the way back home. But that is the end of this session. It's pretty over our normal time. So do we still want to open up for questions from the audience, or do we just kind of want to and forego the recap and then just kind of end it here, or how does everybody feel right now?
Let's just open up for. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them. But we'll be wrapping up pretty quick. If Ashley, you want to give any shout outs to anything?
Yeah, attributions. I have a notebook for that now. First and foremost, we are using the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit as the adventure that we are using. For the online platform, we are using Roll20. It is an online website, free to make an account. For some of the NPCs, we are using colorful characters from Drive-Thru RPG, as well as token treasury monsters. Just Google them. They have their own website. For Hero Forge is where we actually created our individual characters, our player characters. So that's pretty great. As far as purchasing the actual Essentials Kit, dice, anything like that, we highly recommend supporting your local game store if that's something you're able to do. If not, these things are pretty accessible online as well, or at major retailers. But if you can, we'd really like you to support your local game store. They can do a lot for the community. You might find your own little group to play D&D or other tabletop RPGs with there, among other games. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Subscribe to us on YouTube for highlights and the full streams in case you missed any.
Any questions? Any burning questions?
No, I
think we're good.
No questions. I think we're good to sign off.
Everybody.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the ABCs RPGs, and remember, guys, keep learning.